a realistic shot for SCARZ. Now, on paper, you look historically, Pengu, and we talked about it.
Yeah.
SCARZ have had CAG's number, but that was back in the day. CAG are looking in peak form. They're undefeated through the entire best-of-1 group stage, but we have seen upsets before. Bottom seeds beating top seeds. It happened in EU, and of course G2, who were undefeated in best-of-1s, ended up failing to qualify. I sure hope for CAG, by VARREL's sake, that it's not going to be the same story here.
Yeah, I mean, that seems similar, but mind you, SCARZ, while they did make top 4 and qualify here for stage finals, they did actually have a bit of a question mark as if they were going to be capable, and it came down to some close victories, right? That a 7-5 victory over Fearx in the second final playday, and that gave them a shot at qualifying. Then the very final playday, they had to beat Tribi as one-sided as possible, which was a 7-0, and then hope that other results were going to favor them, with D+ either winning very convincingly against Fearx or the other way around. There was a very real chance here that SCARZ wouldn't even make it into top 4.
Yeah.
And now we gotta sit here and go, and they're gonna beat CAG by VARREL? It seems unlikely to me.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, look, the only thing they've got going for them is the fact that we did see SCARZ beat Trippy Main Telecom on Fortress 7-0 in that final match, pardon me, of the group stage.
Very dominant.
Yeah, very dominant. We also saw them beat RX in kickoff back a couple of months ago on this map pretty convincingly, whereas CAG, we don't have a result since they played this map at Salt Lake City against 5 Fears. They lost it in overtime, so I think this is a good map veto for SCARZ, at least to start with, but you never know what CAG have been working on behind the scenes.
Oh, you really don't. They, of course, in the more recent time, CAG been very good at simply like working out the strategies, the depth, the map pool, the pocket strats, and just the flexibility around the operators. That's always something we praise when we cast them. D-Man now going from coach to player, really enabling somebody else like Anitin to do different things in the server. He's not stuck on a one shield or one Ying operator or being a bit of a one-trick pony. They're both enabling each other to do many more things in the server. SCARZ on the attacking side to start things off. They band away the trap operators, the Illa the Thorn. They want to enable the entries and the lurking capability here of someone like Nina and Rek that can get things done. Whereas CAG by VARREL, they have banned away the Monty and the Solid Snake. So a ton of info being banned away.
Yeah, particularly a fan of those trap bans by SCARZ. We've talked about this a lot, Pengu.
Yeah.
It's something that Speakeasy talked about in a Weibo interview. It's very much on meta right now. But CAG have a pretty good read onto where this lurk might be from SCARZ. Yuki's got his teammate to shoot open the door, and now he's forced back further by the second Rotero. It hasn't actually cleared a lot of utility, though.
No. I feel like they're trying to bait out Anitin so that Yuki can just walk in with the nuke shotgun and get a freebie, but they're both respecting each other so much right now. Anitin falling further up the staircase, Yuki still down outside the main door, but he's got that shotgun. If he can get into the staircase itself, he should be favorable against Anitin.
Freebie, never mind, he's looking the wrong way.
Doesn't check the corner.
You know, on a good day with checking your corners a little bit better, that shotgun would be favored. Now Washoy brings almost the exact same shotgun to his gunfight around Horse. Reconnects with Red.
Oh.
And SCARZ have found their picks. Now Anitin very low HP. He will fall. It's Chibisu against 3. And SCARZ should have a pretty solid idea of where he is. Big Nitro cell doesn't land. Oh no, Washoy. That's a critical mistake. Almost a second,
oh my
but
God.
Nina does. Thankfully for SCARZ, restabilize. First round on the board for the attacking side of SCARZ.
It's a very good kind of like a one-off execute. You know, they're just kind of baiting main door, not really showing much sign of life in the server. And then it's 3-2-1, you know, display window, horse door, walk up the main staircase, attack from the tower. And I think the only reason why that works so well is a couple of those flourish drones. We saw them getting shot by Anitin in the main lobby, didn't do much. But then later on, he went to the roof and took the drones down the tower staircase, and he opened up the single wall leading into the bomb site. So SCARZ actually, despite all being outside the building, had a lot of fake pressure inside the building with the use of utility. So CAG by VARREL, they had to worry about maybe like 7 or 8 different angles with, you know, just 5 of those attackers looking for the gaps, and they found them. They got the opening picks. They keep up the momentum and pace. Great first round from SCARZ. And we've seen in APL a couple of times where a team will try and slow down the pace of the game. We saw it yesterday, actually. Weibo, they would play border, and they were playing operators like your Kaid, Tubarao, and they would just reinforce a bunch of walls. Like, they weren't trying to take the fights like a border typically would. CAG perhaps are now doing a similar thing on SCARZ, saying, hey, we're going to slow down the pace, slow down the rounds, just make you work really hard for it. Goyo, Tashanka, the Tubarao, and they got a bunch of reinforcements spare in pocket right now, so CAG can just kind of start offensively, fall back a layer, reinforce a wall in the middle of the round, and keep changing the state for SCARZ. And if you look at SCARZ's attack and lineup, there's not a ton of heartbeats, right? In fact, there's no heart breach. So if you start closing those walls, they literally can't open them.
Yeah, it's the danger of really leaning into those execute operators, isn't it? The info ops. Oh, wow. Look, I really expected this to be a solid game from CAG, but a decisive first round for SCARZ and now a decisive opening pick onto Shoe Reap. A real surprise to see. I didn't manage to catch it, but the Warden going down early is a bit of a loss, particularly with that Ying on the board.
It's going to make it a lot harder. We saw some mid-round reinforcements that has been from CAG by VARREL to reinforce the bathroom position, but they're still staying alive on the roam and the extension itself. Here comes the Goyo vaulting over. It's Arkuli or Saka looking for that pick. And if he were to find it, bring his team back to a 4v4, that's a great spot to be in, but seems like they're not going to risk it. Don't want to lose another body. So it's going to stay in this 5v4 position favoring SCARZ. And you probably can't reinforce this wall unless you go for an Asami Kiba and then just hit the F button and hope for the best. Here it comes. It's close. But they get it done. It's a very niche trick there when you throw the Asami, and as it's like, I don't know, vaporizing and turning into concrete or whatever, it is actually blocking bullets and giving you an invulnerability frame, if you will. And that's why we see teams use it in that kind of way, where you start reinforcing the second the keeper goes down. Because even though visually it's not there yet, it does block the first few bullets.
Yeah, little details in tech like that are pretty critical when your career hinges on details like that. Funnily enough, it's almost exactly what we saw just then, but SCARZ very quick on in the building. Anaton goes big, double C4, and then one with the DMR. It's Fishlike and Washoy now on the 2v3, and I'm not sure he's aware. There is a player prone on the ground just next to him. It's Chibisu who does stand up and take him down. Anaton cooks up a 4K. CAG looking much more chill in that second round, mostly thanks to Annie.
I mean, that's a one-man job right there. I want to say, like, sure, CAG won the round, but SCARZ, they were doing the better work in the server. And if you go back and look at how SCARZ are playing against Trippy and how they're playing their previous matches, this is not the same kind of play style that SCARZ are showing on Fortress. They used to be, I don't know, think of like a chalet, right? You're playing master bedroom, office, and you attack library over. That's how SCARZ like to attack. Bank basement attack, they go top floor, they take full map control, they hunt the roamers down, they get a couple of kills, and then they hit the bombs at like a 5v4 or 5v3. That's how SCARZ like to do it. Build early advantage, and then just have the numbers. Here, they're just trying to get as close to the bomb site as possible, and then just 3, 2, 1 execute from every angle at the same time, hoping that that overflow is just gonna be successful. With Anaton getting a double C4 kill, that stops one side of the push, and then DMR stops a second side of the push. So all of a sudden, instead of attacking from 5 or 4 different angles, SCARZ are just stuck in old tower. It doesn't get them very far. So I'm curious to see how many more rounds SCARZ will attempt this before they go back to their other play style. But so far, they've been massively successful.
I feel like the biggest surprise this stage wasn't actually even SCARZ sneaking into the top 4. I think it was Kinotrope doing...
Kinotrope?
Yeah, because obviously it used to be CAG and D+ fighting for #1, and then FearX kind of potentially in that conversation. And then SCARZ and Kinotrope were kind of on the outside looking in for the longest time. You know, they were regarded as on the same level. Kinotrope has finally stepped up above. So I'm not really sure where I put SCARZ with all that in mind. They're not maybe on Kinotrope's level, but they did just scrape in to the playoffs, to the stage finals. So I'm still getting a read. And look, to be honest, they're looking pretty solid on Fortress so far. Fortress, obviously a good map for them. They destroyed Trippy on this map in the final playday. It's 7-0. But when they did play CAG on Clubhouse during the regular stage, they got slapped around 7-3. They didn't look really well coordinated. They didn't look near CAG's level. So it's great to see them playing a lot better today.
And perhaps a bit of that other dog story can also help them, right? When you're not in the spotlight and everyone's looking at you like the main villain to take down, you can kind of slip underneath the surface and kind of go, oh guys, we've been prepping this. We weren't aware of the strategy that we have, our playstyle, our confidence levels. You can catch your opponent by surprise. It's the same similar attack though, they're slowly setting things up, but this is more a bit of a roam kill like I said before, right? The bomb site is gonna be in commando offices on the other side by the main lobby. They're full taken from the opposite side of the map, much like I said on the chalet. So it's an opposite clear, hoping for a couple of kills early. That hasn't happened, we're gonna play a bit more safe here. So it's gonna end up in a 5v5 right by the bomb site. And now I get a little bit worried about SCARZ, because they have double drone operators in Twitch and Flores, which doesn't do anything with gadgetry from this moment forward, leaving just the Grim with one Grim canister in pocket just spent now, and it Blitz to do all the work.
Yeah, and Anderton had that C4 pre-ripped for about 15 seconds earlier in this round as well, while standing on the tower stairs. It looks like he's now got the read that nobody is pushing him like they did last time with the Nukes. So instead, he's rotating to try and support the rest of his team. I think you're right, though. Yukis might be going back.
The backstab.
Yeah, indeed. That's a good backstab. Good entry as well. The Blitz leverages an opening for SCARZ. And at the drop of a hat, it all comes down to DD. What can the ex-coach do? Absolutely nothing. Flawless from SCARZ. Picture perfect. Beautiful attack onto that primary bomb site once again.
Yukis with the craziest gap, just jumped down the tower construction from the roof and found his one, and it turns the attention from just watching the frontal push to also worrying about the backstab. I'm very curious here if CAG will opt to ban an operator like the Lion, something that can really make everyone stand still when the execute is coming, because we're seeing it 3, 2, 1, and the push happens. But it's gonna be the Ying instead, actually, which also adds a bit of that chaos effect in the server. Maybe they're also fearing the possibility of a Warden ban, because in that case, with Warden being gone and Ying still being in play, that makes life very complicated. And SCARZ, they're gonna keep doing the same thing, right? They ban the Illa Thorn with the trap operators, and the reason why they ban them is to enable these kinds of pushes. 3, 2, 1, nothing can stop us. What's an operator that can move around and acts like a barbed wire the entire time? It's a Clash. The continuous slow effect, stunning the shields and making life unplayable, they ban that as a third operator. Very clear game plan here from SCARZ, and they are fully committing to it.
Not to mention, you are playing against CAG by VARREL. If any team is going to jump on that clash, it's these guys. It's Anderton. It's even DD.
They would.
Even Shirip. Sometimes we'll see that come out from them. They love it. They really do. So that's good from SCARZ, even though we hadn't seen it so far. They're just reading a little bit into the future. From CAG, getting rid of the Ying, it was played twice by SCARZ, but I feel like SCARZ are actually really good at leveraging not just the Ying, but all of these power operators, be them the Blitz or the Lion, as you mentioned, the Dokkaebi Deimos has all made an appearance. The Grim, and in this case, the Glaz. SCARZ, another operator, in fact, the only operator that they've actually picked every single round so far, up until now, is the Flores, funnily enough. They've been running Flores, they've been running Twitch, and they've banned 2 traps. SCARZ clearly want to hit the go button after they've done their prep. They want to put pressure on these gaps, utilizing these power-ups. And getting rid of those traps, both in the ban phase and with util like Twitch and Flores, has been perfect for that. This bomb site's going to pan out a little bit differently, right? Because it's downstairs, so you're also probably going to work some vert into it, hence the RAM. But I really like this SCARZ playstyle.
It's a lot harder to break apart this bomb site because it's like very few narrow corridors to get access to the site itself, or really dangerous hatch drop. So what they're doing here is they're picking these like very strong utility operators like the Glass, the Capital, that can make it so unfair for the defenders, right? You can smoke the hatch drop, now it's safe, use the Capital Fire Arrow to, you know, remove one of the power positions from defenders. That's going to favor SCARZ as well. So instead of going for 3, 2, 1 gap finding, this should be, if played perfectly, of course, roam clear, verticality with the round like you mentioned, and then Glass and Capital choosing exactly what area to target with their gadgets, and that's gonna give them a new kind of opening. SCARZ are still super reliant here on getting the opening pick when it comes down to execute, because once they hit the ground, they gotta keep running. They can't just hit the ground, lose a member or two, and reset and go again, because it is a bit of a one-pump strategy. You have smokes from the Glass and from this to support him, and then Capital Fire. That's what you have to make work. What can CG by VARREL do so? Hit a flank at the perfect timing, technically possible. Jibisu is on the second floor, but very far away and now yellow spotted as well. And that's where the gridlock comes into action. That's going to be a flank watcher. So SCARZ are aware that the flank is scary, it's dangerous, and they've taken care of that too. So this is going to leave, most likely, their fight happening downstairs by the bomb site, and Anderson playing the Warden must become the playmaker. Oh,
Rek actually team kills the Blitz, and now he's forced to be the one to
C4.
plant himself.
No
You're right, there's
denial.
no C4, but the Warden was taken down by that Glaz, and therefore the plant will be confirmed. Perfect from SCARZ. CAG didn't even really make a mistake. They got a kill gifted to them, and yet look at what's happened. They've just let SCARZ plant. The flank is now going to have to be deadly. Chibisu finds one, but traded back is Shureep on that top floor. Chibisu gets him back again, which means numbers now favor the defense, but Rek polishes off DD Man's head. Chibisu has to flank from upstairs. Zaka has to get active straight through the fire, looking to try and hunt down Rek, and he is successful. Now it comes down to Nina up above, but look at this. He has perfect vision on where that defuse is. Both of his opponents are low on HP, and he can cover his own back, but not from the side. I don't think this time is their time. Chibisu's just barely got it. No! Oh, just barely. SCARZ win the round on time. CAG not fast enough despite having 2 players alive. They did not jump on that defuse.
We're talking less than half a second of difference right there. They had the right play, the flank, the retake, both defenders on 1 HP. And just think back about how that execute started. The Blitz gets team killed as the first person with their first bullet, I think, fired from the attack. I'm thinking, oh, dude, the round is cooked. But the second bullet from the Glass takes care of Anderton, the Warden, the Playmaker, the C4, the Plant Denial. You can see through the smoke. It's perfect. Look, bonk, bonk, 2 bullets. And the entire round becomes a 4v4 post-plant. Just erupts in chaos. Rek finding so many picks, those sitting on 7 kills currently. Look at the time there's left here.
Damn.
Oh my days. So close.
I gotta ask you, Nick, do you count that as a clutch from Nina? Is that a 1v2 clutch or a 0v2 clutch?
I mean, it's a 1v2 clutch in my mind because, you know,
10 seconds left.
okay, the clutch factor, right, is a matter of like, do you win the round with what you're doing? And that can be the enemy letting go of the mouse and keyboard. You still win. Like, that's you winning by clutching, right? He stalled for enough time, stayed alive for enough time, didn't peak for enough time for the timer to run low enough to win. Okay? Whether or not he actually got the kills or died or whatever, it doesn't matter. He won.
I've just looked at the
That's a Nina
replay
clutch.
as well. Chibisu got onto the defuse at 6 seconds and 400 milliseconds. 6.4. So he had just missed it by half a second. Oh no, actually, wait, I see our replay operator was slowing it down. I just little inside behind the scenes to the replay op. I can see what's going on this replay screen. I can see them cutting it up. And there we go. Look at this. How much time is left?
Oh,
0.2. What?
Yeah, it's so close.
Wait, what?
It's not done. Like, yeah, so
0,
timer
0, 0.
hits 0 here, right? And yeah, but that's the timer ending for the round. That's a defuse timer, right? If you look at the bottom left of his bar, he was missing like a pixel on the
Of course, yeah.
the thingy magic.
Yeah, because it used to be that it would show the number on the defuse as well. So I got a little lost in the sauce. I was watching two screens at once, 2 different replays on them.
That's all right. It was very close, and could have been a crazy clutch there from CAG by VARREL, but instead they're playing from the back foot now. 1-3 in round count. We're gonna see Deimos on the board. Goes a bit of a track here. This time it's Shureep turning the Warden.
Big entry from Rek. Oh, but no, does not get it. Finds 2 players peeking him while he's on that glass. Chibisu's being such a little rat on the floor here. Spots out one for a brief moment, and they decide it's time to get active. He actually wants to peek out of his Kiba barrier while Fishlight goes down to DD. He's about to get tracked by the Deimos. Unfortunately for him, he's running that shotgun. If he wasn't running Shoddy, he definitely would have gotten that. Nina actually saved. Despite that gas coming out, he will be picked up. Washo is still on the ground. And SCARZ will finish, CAG will finish him off. Yukiz wants to get active, doesn't realize he's being pushed deep from the hallway. DD Man getting extremely active. I like this fire from CAG.
Yeah, taking the fight back to SCARZ and shutting them down. Now they're gonna go hunting. Not gonna give them any breathing room. But SCARZ are the ones running away, actually. Outside the building, hasn't shot the default. Oh, okay. They're not watching it, so it's alright. Now he is, though. Or could be flicking through the cams where he saw Nina outside the building. But I mean, there's so little health here, so little time. It's completely over here. CAG by VARREL look for the second round. They'll get it. And he gets the final kill. And maybe, just maybe, CAG have figured SCARZ out and can now hold their own on the bomb side.
2 rounds on the board, though, Pengu. I'm not sure this is enough for CAG's defense. SCARZ have looked really deadly on this attacking side. If CAG tie it up, then the momentum will sit with them as they go into their own attack. But if SCARZ come away here with a 4-2, I feel like that is an excellent job. And they really do put their best foot forward for going into that second half.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
When SCARZ played against Trippy on this map, they won 6 defenses in a row. Just put that in perspective. They're now on their attacking side. Obviously, very different caliber of
They
team.
look for a 4th attack.
Yeah, I mean, if they get 4 attacks, knowing that they can get 6 defenses against Trippy, like surely they could find 3 against CAG.
I'm patiently waiting here for the timer to hit 0 in the operator it's gone. The fuse shield dream is dead.
Rip the homie.
For a short second, I was thinking maybe, just maybe, but fuse shield gets no love these days. There was a couple of play days, I think it was, I don't know, 6 months ago, where maps like Bank and even Lair once or twice I saw fuse shield getting played a little bit.
Fuse
There's
rework
a,
idea.
interesting interaction.
You can throw the
Okay,
fuse
if you have
charges,
one, or yeah.
but they only do 40 damage each pellet. So it's more about util clear.
Would you throw them like Ram, where they're heavy, or like Smoke or C4s, where they fly? Because you know
I
the
think it
Ram
has
moving
to
is like really
be-
heavy. It's like, ugh.
True. Well, I think the idea is that you can then throw it onto the ceiling, and it goes out to the floor above you.
Oh, that kind.
So I feel like, yeah.
I don't like the throwable thing. You know, I think of Ace, and I'm just like, this is lazy to me. Like, Thermite's gotta walk up there, he bound needs to like aim it and shoot them, and Ace is like, chuck it, chuck it. It's like, oh my, chuck it, chuck it. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not against the concept, but I like when there's a bit more positional awareness.
The problem
around
is
the
so many
decision.
operators are weak because of the lack of positionality.
Yeah, they become limited.
Here's
yeah.
another idea for a rework. What if instead of you click the button once to like put the gadget down and once to detonate it, you have like your swap ammo type button, like you would use to swap the target for Deimos or Dockerby, and that detonates. So you can actually put all of them down, detonate all of them at once. That'd be cheeky.
I thought about that too as well, because if you could make like a whole, or the whole bomb site just covered with fuse mines, right? That'd be kind of cool. So right now you pop it, they run away, and then you gotta run after them, pop it down, they run the other way, and you just can't do anything. So you gotta keep watching them horizontally at the same time. Effort, man. But speaking of effort, CG by VARREL been putting that in because they're extending out their aggression more.
Yeah.
They're not playing so much about like the full roam extension. They're playing much closer together. Now they have a guy horse and a guy main stairs, a guy in the middle of that, and they have a player in bathroom also in the middle of that. So they have 2 links kind of chaining the whole team together, meaning that if anybody falls, they can assist that player.
Yeah, CAG made a really good read here, which is that SCARZ are very good at executing on Fortress. So you have to play disruptively throughout that mid-round. So they find that kill early. However,
hello, guys?
they're also losing bodies left, right, and center. Great pick onto Anitson. Chibisu also takes a hell of a lot of damage into the 3v3. SCARZ have a lot of map control surrounding that bomb site, but they are all separate. They have to win their ones, and well, they do not do so whatsoever. It is a tie of the score from CAG as they find a 3rd round in the half.
Beautiful. I think that could bode very well for them. They get a bit of momentum back in the server and can feel more comfortable about their opposition. And Fortress could very well be a Tagger favorite. But James, we have a desk, and I would like to hear what they have to say.
You know what, Nick? I think maybe you should become the host.
He salvaged that one because he knew that he missed the soft throw, but
Yeah.
then he actually collected it really
Yeah,
well. So
yeah.
credit to Nick there.
And
Shout
then
out.
he hit us with a hard throw.
Oh, was that actually a soft throw?
Yeah, oh, that's okay. Don't worry, Pengu. We'll learn next time, mate. We'll get there. But look, this is what we were trying to contextualize going into this match, that SCARZ are definitely a formidable force. And when they go up against CAG, it does feel like they've got a good opportunity in this.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen, if I can hear James yelling anymore, I'm going to go over there and rip that
He's
headset
just
off his
excited
head.
at how well SCARZ have played in that first half, and who can really blame him, right? Getting 3 rounds on attack, and they didn't unfortunately cap it off probably in the fashion that they would have liked.
Unfortunately
and
not.
there were certainly some very dicey moments across that half, so I think SCARZ are somewhat fortunate to have walked away with that particular scoreline, but they're in it. They're looking competitive.
They are.
And it is, at least for now, shaping up to be one of the more compelling best of 3s that we've had so far, but I will say under the prerogative that we have had a collection of best of 3s so far, where the underdog starts off well on the first map and then it fizzles out. So we need to ensure now that SCARZ can actually back up this performance in the second half.
And that's the thing, is when we shift the narrative, I think Dev put it quite nicely toward the end there, which is SCARZ attack on Fortress looked very succinct. It looked like they had a real plan in every round, Jake. But now that we start to pivot a little bit of the conversation as we turn to defense, can they carry that momentum? And we've said this multiple times. Guz just put it perfectly. So many times the underdog have started strong and then they can't get into that second half.
Well, when you look at Fortress within the region, sits at about a 53% defensive win rate. Hasn't been played much, small sample size, but I think Fortress, ever since it came into the pool, has largely been that slight favour to the defense. So a 3-3 half from the attack of SCARZ, I think you should be pretty content.
Yep.
I wouldn't be jumping to the hill. If they had made it 4-2, I would have said this is looking really good.
Yeah.
Sure.
They would have had some breathing room. You know, you could maybe drop a round or two. I think for SCARZ, where the best part of this game would be is the start. To get out to a good lead, builds that momentum, and also builds that feeling of belief that we can actually get the job done in not only this map, but also the series. The job hasn't finished just because you got 3 attacking rounds against CAG on Fortress. Yes, you go defense, and yes, they should feel comfortable. This is their map pick. They've got a good record. I genuinely think if they can win the first 2 rounds, job's done. I think from there they'll go and close the map.
Yeah, I think the ban discussion's really interesting in this matchup. SCARZ, last 2 times they've played this map, haven't taken shields off the board. They'll take the snake off again. And in previous matches, the Ying has been their most frequent ban on both occasions. But against CAG, that's a risk to leave those shield ops up. They opt for the Glaz. Has seen 1 ban so far. It means that full shield play will be available to CAG by VARREL. And we know there's so much data to prove that Anaton in particular can be so impactful with the Monty or the Blitz or the Blackbeard. Doesn't really matter. And they're going to have the full plethora of shield operators available here.
2 players to quickly look at in this second half, just to put a bit of a focus on. Number 1, Sharif. Rough start, 2-5. He is the 4th best player in the region. And then Nina for SCARZ is the number 1 rated player throughout group stage at the moment, 3-4. So he's just going about the pace. Really, if one of those switches on and the other doesn't, that team will probably go on and win. If they both switch on, we got ourselves a game. And it's an exciting second half coming up.
I can say something on my hand, and it's a series. We might have a series on our hands here. Let's hope that they can dig their heels in for this second half. SCARZ, they've looked good, but CAG by VARREL, I tell you what, you don't want to give them an inch because they'll take a mile. Pengu, this is what a soft throw sounds like.
It's not as soft as I was like.
That was a hard throw.
Listen, I am never throwing again. I'm never speaking. I'm just, whenever you finish your point, James, I will sit there for 20 solid seconds waiting for affirmation that I can speak. Okay?
Bro, you're
I need
getting
permission
bullied,
now
but
to exist.
you did fine, actually. I think Gaz hit the nail on the head. You had, it was a backhanded compliment. I think you did just fine.
See, everyone knew what was happening except for me. I was kept in the dark.
We were all in the studio
Everyone knew that
looking
you were
at
gonna
each
make
other,
your
and I'm
point, and that
looking at
was
you
it.
on the TV screen, forgetting that you can't look back. We need a little webcam on the camera so you can actually look at us.
Oh, man. It's okay. You know, a player is not defined by how well they fare in the moment. It's about how far fare they will at the clutch when things they go wrong. Okay? That's what we base them off of.
Wisdom. Wise Pengu has been activated. It looks like Anaton is
Also, what
doing
daily was
Anaton
wisdom.
things. He's on that Monty.
Now,
Oh, this is
there's
balls.
no way this works.
Yukin is
Jesus
so
Christ.
ballsy. He is bandit juggling in front of Anaton, knowing
That's
his teammate
disrespect.
will kill Anaton. The thing is, there is actually an angle here. If Anaton peeked into the corner, he would be able to go for an ADS. A lot of damage onto Yukin.
my
He tries to
days.
retreat, ends up getting flashed, and will be injured. SCARZ a little bit too aggressive, and they will pay for it.
Not the floor stroke kill. Here it comes. Ding, 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 ding. Kaboom. Beautiful. Don't see that every day, do we? Good little opening pick there from CAG, and also get a lot of damage onto Fish like at the same time, so getting a lot of value. And we were muted when it happened. Gosh was talking about how it's interesting how, you know, the ban phase works out for SCARZ here, not ban the shields historically, and not doing it against CAG by VARREL could be a mistake. I said off camera, you gotta ban the Monty, and look at the value they're getting.
Oh my god. Anaton just
After kill.
drives fear into the hearts of his opponents. As soon as that Monty starts walking towards you, you know you are doomed to die. You know you're being yellow pinged. You know everyone is peeking you. Nina finds one. Best player in the group stage for APAC North. Now has to 1v5. Gets ejected by the Grimm's Bees. And now Anaton in a post plant on the Monty. Unlosable. Chibusu locks in the final kill. That's your number 2 player in the league from group stage. And CAG looking fiery to kick off their attack.
They're gonna regret not banning the Monty, I'm telling you. Any can run it back 3 rounds in a row, and then SCARZ will be forced to ban it, and then we'll see what happens after that. It's just one of those, you
And then
know.
he'll play Ying.
And I was watching, and then they'll play the Ying or all the stuff, right? There's never really a real win con there. But I was watching EML last night. I was watching the very end of Fnatic versus G2.
Attackers need to locate and
Yeah.
defuse bombs.
And I tuned in, I think right before overtime, like 6-4 or 6-5, like Fnatic making the comeback into OT. And I was looking up and I saw that they had banned Monty against Fnatic, and Smith has been like a really, really good shield player, actually. It's been what Fnatic have been leveraging a lot in the shield meta game, of course. And I was just sitting there thinking, if you're a good shield team, like think of Anaton, think of current Fnatic, think of FaceClan, you know, Vita King, whatever. There's so many teams to mention here. I feel like you just have to ban the Monty in like 90% of circumstances. And it sounds so silly. But Monty is one of the only operator, he's probably the only operator actually, that can do what he does.
Yeah.
Extend your shield, walk in, and you can ignore almost every mechanic in the game. They can have a what's it called, a thorn trap, you'll take damage but you won't die. They can see for you, you'll take damage but you won't die. You can walk through any barbed wire, any slowing gadget, any thin mine, like you just don't care about anything.
Just zero risk. Like compared to
And
Blitz or
whenever you-
Blackbeard, where people
It's
like
zero risk.
a DMR, one bullet onto your foot, and you're like, oh crap, I gotta back out.
Yeah.
Not even gonna happen with the Monty.
Yeah. And I think no matter what we do, even if Monty took away his pistol and he couldn't melee, even if it was just like an extended drone, I still think Monty would be a huge asset to most teams, because now your IGLs can just play him and make the calls without the worry of dying in the server. Monty, in my mind, desperately needs like a skill check mechanic, like an energy bar like Kavera or Vigil, where it can be extended for such a long time. Like, let's say it's 15 seconds, 20 seconds in a row. The fact that you can be extended the entire round without being punished ever, it just goes to show how strong this operator can be and why his ban rate is extremely high.
Yeah. And in the hands of a Monty specialist, it's something to be feared.
Yeah.
But SCARZ know some of the counters themselves. They've brought the Ella, they've brought the Thorn, they've brought the Smoke, even the Goyos. A lot of tick damage here. And there's util that can disrupt the Monty. Notice there, but the Gridgemot just knocks his shield back briefly for a moment. It doesn't force the unshield and expose his legs. So he can keep on marching forward almost immediately. Yukiz decides it's time to fall back. Washoy actually steals a kill onto that Monty from behind. I think that might have even been a wallbang. I didn't see how it happened, unless if Anaton tried to take a gunfight.
He went for an ADS, yeah,
Oh,
he
risky.
did. He fired a single pistol shot back towards Vashoy as well. And that is, this is Anaton purely dying by his own choice. If you stay extended, again, you're unkillable. If you go for the 50-50 coin flip, well, it's a 50-50 and he lost it. But this is a huge pick here for SCARZ, because they slow down momentum massively. They get to reinforce the walls leading towards the bomb side, and they get open and killed. And now if you look at CAG's lineup, yeah, they have a Ying, they have a few Grimbees, etc. But they don't have any easy way of getting inside the bomb side. Like the doors in the wall, they're gonna... Oh, I mean, this works out. They get one.
It's perfect. I think he almost saw it for a second as well. Zaka knows he will be exposed
He's
if he tries to
Grimbeed.
peek into that corner. However, Washoy is down on the ground. I don't believe that CAG are aware of it as of yet. They don't have an entry hole here, just these lines of sight from the Maverick, which
just
means they
open the
will have to
toes.
file in through these doorways into the bomb site. And there are a lot of good crossfires. A gunfight here onto Wreck, and maybe there's a chance to get in the bomb site, but time is
They
ticking.
had a Monty, man. If my Ellington was alive, you just walk on in and start planting down that diffuse, honestly, but they're gonna win the fight regardless. I could have been a second, it's traded back. 2v2 technically, this was injured.
The smoke might be enabling a plan here for CAG. It's up to
Surely
Rek
not.
and Yukiz to try and get active. Chibisu doesn't shoot the body
Is it
and
free?
actually finds the headshots. It's Yukiz outside
He's
the
outside.
building. Fully detected against 2 players from CAG with the plant
He's
down.
crazy.
Chibisu takes a little bit of damage, but the pistol strikes true. And CAG back-to-back on the attack. That makes it 4 in a row for the undefeated team here in APAC North.
And so that big reaction to Chibisu thinking, what the hell did we just do? We stole the round on the main breach. One single smoke grenade gives them a whole new win kind of planting in the chaos of the moment. The kite was shot injured the entire round, by the way. It's laying there. And SCARZ will call a tactical timeout. It is hard to hang on defense. I know that Jake brought down the stats here for APL. Seems like 52 or 53% favored for defenders. And this is a stat that you and I, James, started talking about more frequently since we also work EML sometimes. The stats of defender and attacker favor, it shifts so quickly. Because in APL, majority of maps end up being defender favored because attacking is just more challenging in general. And APL teams are lower in skill, especially like the bottom 4 teams, the bottom 2 teams or whatever. So it skews numbers a bit. When you go to EML, maps like your Fortress very quickly can become attacker favored.
Yeah.
Because teams are just that much better at attacking, and you can't really get like better at defending. Like you reinforce the same walls in most regions, play the same operators in the same positions. You can hit your shots and make better decisions in the moment, sure, but strategically, the attackers always have the advantage. You know, counter-picking in the drone phase, getting very much stronger gadgets, they have stronger weapons, and they require more coordination to pull off executes. So seeing CAG being, let's say, a higher level team here over SCARZ in recent history, I'm not surprised they're better at attacking, but it certainly just makes it like, oh, you know, 3-3-half, it might be fine for SCARZ. They go defense now because it's defender-sided map.
To be fair,
But
SCARZ were actually very good at defending attacking as well. Like, let's not discredit them on that. Like, it was really only one that first half ended up as a 3-3, and that was really only because in the final 2 rounds, CAG realized we can't let them execute. We just have to fight in the mid round. We have to push out and try and kill these heavy operators earlier.
I mean, if I'm a SCARZ fan, I'm saying, guys, let's survive one more round. We ban the next operator, and things get easier from that moment forward. We'll go back to your point, though. You know, you ban the Monty, there's going to be a Ying, there's going to be a Cavatal, there's going to be a Blitz, and a Blackbeard, there's going to be there's going to be so many other strong attackers, and that's the problem. But it's a start, right? It's going to change things around a little bit here. The win conditions from CAG by VARREL. Also, like, individually, Fish-like and Washoy both having a hard time on the scoreboard. Like, if they start hitting a shot here and there, that can also create a change the conversation. Shoot taking a lot of damage on the Blitz. What is this? Whip, whip.
He's scary.
Just poking his head around.
He's taking a lot of damage, though, to the feet. And this is the thing. We talked about shield play and CAG, whether it be the Clash or the Monty. In this case, the Blitz. They can share it round. Anderton is sometimes keen to actually play a Ying, get a shotgun instead. And he'll let someone like Shurip play that Blitz. DD, who, by the way, has been fragging out today. I know he's only 5-5, overshadowed a little bit by Chibisu and Zaka and Anaton, but he's had some big kills and some aggressive moments.
Question is, but Anaton off the shield, can Shurip fill that space? He's, as you said, taking a fair bit of damage already, and when you are playing that Blitz operator, you gotta be very cautious now and not overstep too far. CAG are currently rotating around the building, getting set up for the execute. You see DD Man and Shurip go from main lobby up the staircase, so they're selling the frontal attack, but it's gonna be a backstep actually.
It will be telegraphed, though, as the E1D roars on out. CAG start to make their way towards this defense. However, SCARZ taking down Zaka. Makes it a little bit harder to execute. CAG still have so many ingredients to make this happen, though, namely Ying. Anaton lays down one of his smokes. Up comes a Candela as well. Fish like, oh my god, wait, it's a flank from Washoy. How many can he get? SMG 11 in hand. One goes down. But it's just him and Fish like left. Anaton has not yet forced down this plan. Chibisu low HP dodges the Thorn Trap just barely. Chibisu has been such a fragger for his squad in this stage. But Anaton is the one who needs to have a big impact. He's playing that Ying up close and personal against Washoy. Shotgun against shotgun. Oh. Washoy gets him. Chibisu now, 1v2 with no diffuser to speak of. And Washoy has all this gas he could possibly ask for. One flashbang in pocket for Chibisu as he walks straight into this crossfire. Fishlike should know where he is. Round in the corner. He's unlikely to even find the first, and look at that. Washoy is just going to continue running away. SCARZ know all they need to do is retreat, and they will finally break the streak. And on the back of their tactical timeout, they get their first defense.
There's a top position there for CAG to problem solve. I think some people might sit there and go, why didn't they plant in the 2v2? And I have to assume here that Chibisu being 1 point of health, they weren't comfortable enough holding the angles because a single pre-fire, he'll get injured or just outright killed, and then Anaton is left alone. Then there's come the second layer. What if Anaton had gone over to Chibisu, they had exchanged with the diffuser, and the low health guy plants while Anaton covers? Well, here's the second problem. Anaton is covering with a shotgun primary and the Reaper secondary. Awful weapons. So they're forced into trying to fish for a kill, then go back and play together. And you said it, a smoke ban coming into effect here. That's gonna show us that they wanna speed things up, if you will. But I don't know if the smoke has been super influential so far.
Well, they essentially lost that round while the smoke still had 3 gas babes in pocket. So that's yeah, it was down to the 2v or the 1v2, and smoke had all the gas. Sparky's coming in after that ban, by the way.
Yeah,
and he's got a lot of things to say here to CAG as the Italian gets to work, talking with his hands as we would expect. Love to see that. Oh, I would love to be able to hear what he's saying to the team right now.
I'm telling you, listenings, get in here. I mean, all production has to do is accidentally hit a button and we hear everything, right? So they could just like not shit. Is whoop. Oh, sorry guys, you heard 20 seconds of that? My bad. You know, maybe they get a cake tomorrow by coincidence if that happened. Could be kind of cool.
Attackers need to locate and
I think one is the operator bans, of course. Sparky wants to share the knowledge here of what they're going to be doing with the bans and whatnot. The second one, I think, must just be playstyle. And another thing here is they banned the Grim. And I mentioned earlier, like, you gotta see the Blitz, the Blackbeard, the Monty, the Capitao, the Ying. Like, you're leaving a lot of things open. I generally think you run Monty, not every single round per se, but of the next 3, I think you run Monty twice, so to speak. Like, you just run it a good
I feel like
time here.
This kitchen bomb site, which has the most vert, is probably the one that has the least Monty impact, I feel personally. But you never know. The biggest trap I see with teams, with or without Monty, on this bomb site of kitchen, is when they try and roam clear from the Haman side of the map. Like, that just, it never works. In fact, exactly where Shurib is right now, teams that roam clear from here on out, I swear they always lose. It is such a
There's
rat
one
race
round
and a maze.
that we've cast where it worked. A singular one.
It's the only time I've ever seen any team successfully roam clear from this side. And that's because the entire defense roamed and they killed all of the roamers and the round was over.
Yeah. Exactly it. Curious to see now, though, what it was Sparky wanted to tell the boys, if it's going to be about slowing down the pace or rather increasing it. But it seemed like, you know, they were in a strong position last round from CAG and then want to flip the entire attack and go for a backstab. Mind you, there was a team kill that happened from DD Man, actually, so... Oh, hello there, yeah, that's a roamer.
2 roamers.
Trying to find the gap in the middle of the building. The issue is if Energy keeps walking forward and no one's taking the space behind him, he's opening up himself to a flank. So Energy has to be very careful here about where he goes.
Dogabicall goes and hits Yukiz. Notice a lot of mute jammers on for this round, by the way, so CAG needed Anaton to be getting the info, so they couldn't do so easily with drones. Here comes Chibisu.
Beautiful.
So much info on where Yukiz was. Thankfully for CAG, they have players marching behind that Monty. Now marching further as Shuri starts to put some pressure on and flushes Washoy all the way back to that bomb site.
There we see the power of the shield. Again, you get opening pick, then you're forcing back the other roaming players because you can't risk losing more bodies, so you get a ton of map control with it. You spot the person holding a pixel angle, and you get him from the window outside as well. Perfect rotation from DD. Just, again, we're playing around Anaton. He's literally walking in the most front 4 position, and everyone's around or behind him. Then they get divert, they got it for 60 seconds. And even if you thought there's a Goyo, there's a Valkyrie, C4, etc. Because they have the Monty, they don't gotta slow down and double check and drone stuff. Right here, there's a left, right, and straight ahead. This is scare Anyton. If he looks the wrong direction, you get shot from the side. But he waits his teammates, they drone it, they check it, he keeps going forward. And because they got a 5v3, they can send a backstab flanker while having this front pressure.
And Washoy taking a hell of a lot of damage too. On paper, this is unlosable for CAG.
On paper.
Yeah, as Shurip starts to target, but Washoy now targeted by the Deimos, low HP. Already his phone has exploded. Nice pick from Washoy though, somehow. SCARZ bring it back, but Shurip with the Vendetta makes it a 2v1. Fish-like now, C75 in hand. And he finds the first one. Shurip overexposes instead of forcing down that plant. Now Zaka on low HP up against Fish-like with the shotgun. And he's not going to push deep enough. Far too slow. And SCARZ steal that round away. They had no right whatsoever.
One tiny mistake more or less cost CAG the entire round. And it's in yellow ping the medic bay door on the far side. The second yellow pings it, he looks away, an enemy swings and just takes him out immediately with a headshot. They lose the Monty, the case is in a bad position, the frontal push is dead, the backstab is the successor, but the issue is the backstab doesn't have much ground. The backstab is about creating chaos, getting a kill, and enabling players on the front side to be successful. When Anyton die, that's the case on the floor, bottom of the staircase, and everyone else is either so far away or not in a good position to then retake the bomb site. So we see that Fish-like has a strong position, isolates the fights 1 versus 1, plays on the timer. Very small things here going wrong for CAG by VARREL, but it will define the round in the end. I don't think they have to change anything. Like, you can literally do the exact same thing, same operators, but on a new bomb site here for CAG, and the teeny tiny details, that just has to be better, and they will win the round. It is still, in my mind, SCARZ that have to figure out the problems and the solutions here and make the counterplay.
Yeah, for sure. And let's remind ourselves as well, this bomb site of dorms that we're seeing SCARZ go to right now. CAG won this last time, and they won it reasonably convincingly. They used that Maverick to open up these reinforced walls between bathroom and meeting room in the bomb site. They had the Monty to march on forward. SCARZ, they've changed things a little bit. They're really leaning into these traps. No more Kaiyi. They don't need to worry about that. They know, well, they can just bring Mav anyway. Instead, let's really go deep on these traps. I think they're tempted to fight CAG even more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you just kind of ignore the Monty and just have 2 defenders like fighting him back, you don't care about Anyton anymore. You care about the guns that are behind him, and then Anyton can just watch his teammates die essentially because Monty can't risk taking a gunfight. It is a playstyle that you can opt for. It's highly risky, which fits SCARZ's playstyle historically, right? They will coin flip any moment that you give them. They'll choose the easy way. The gunfight, that is. It's a bit of a slower pace here from CAG. They haven't really shown where the attack is coming from just yet. They're on the roof, they're outside, waiting for DD-Man on the floor to do some soft destruction. Anyton and Chibisu together just now entering the building, and they're actually downstairs.
How's Chibisu 13 and
Not
3,
sure
by the way,
is.
when his team's lost 5 rounds? That's insane. Dragging out like
fracks.
crazy, but yeah, I think a lot of exits and a lot of saving.
Nah, not necessarily. But
He
maybe.
is the second best
That's a
player
step that I
in
would
the
like to
region.
see.
Yeah, I would love to
Yeah,
see
he
that
is.
too. Wow, that's a lot of damage onto
Oh no.
Anyton.
Oh no.
Nina is going deep, trying to get as much damage onto
no.
Annie as possible. He is now quite low, but the smoke is banned, so SCARZ tick damage is somewhat limited. And Shurip
wow.
is watching from the vert down below. SCARZ feel the need to get aggressive. Look at them trying to peek out, trying to re-aggress, but they don't have any more tick damage to use against Anyton.
So well played here. Chibisu playing super passive whilst Anyton's information game. Again, they want to fight the guns around Anyton himself and just ignore the Monty as much as they can. They have no more impact grenades, no more easy damage they can do to him. So despite Any being 1 HP more or less, he's almost impossible to kill, and they work around him again for a second.
Perfect from Zaka. Patience from CAG as they just give Anyton the
Now he
ability
can
to
plant.
make that space. Yukiz finds a good frag. Oh, Anyton's going to get plant denied for just a brief moment, but immediately traded on back. CAG. They find their 3rd round on the attacking side, and with it, they find match point.
One more round, and Fortress will be in the past. Mind you, this is SCARZ' map pick, I believe, so it's a pretty big deal for CG to take it.
And next up is
kind
Lair,
of catapults them.
which is such a
Yep,
good
it sets
map.
them up to a nice 2-0.
CAG, yeah, that's the scary part. I mean, you look at CAG beating so many good teams like Kinotrope and D+. That's the number 2 and number 3 seed. They beat them both on Lair quite convincingly. SCARZ themselves, they did play Lair against Kinotrope, they lost it. So on paper, everything points towards next map to be won by CAG. The only universe where SCARZ make this happen is they dig deep on Fortress and then they play the long game and go to bank. I just don't see them winning the series, Pengu, if they don't win Fortress.
I'd have to back you on that. How are we feeling about the Grim ban now? Are we feeling silly? Are we feeling like a little bit of regret maybe?
I think
I don't know.
the Grim was used very well by SCARZ, funnily enough. I think it's one of those cases where it's like you're so good at something that you have a lot of respect for it, so you ban it. But funnily enough, that's not actually what they're good at. Yeah, obviously, CAG are really good with the Monty. Like, I think from round 0, we probably could have guessed you just banned Monty against CAG.
Yep.
Even just, especially with that smoke ban, like last round, they got a lot of tick damage onto the Monty. But once even if he's on 20 health, doesn't really matter. If you run out of impacts and C4s and traps to deal damage, then it doesn't matter he's on 20 HP. You're still not going to do any more damage to him.
Changing mags.
Of course, the Nara can be quite effective, but that's also why we're seeing Twitch and Floors being brought out to just counter the util, open up the pathways for the attackers. Yep. Shield gone. That's weakened the horse position. Horse is almost like clubhouse, you know, gym, bedroom, with the office. It is like the backbone of the bomb site. If you get horse control as an attacker, you can see through the rotations, you can take bathroom, you can enable a plant, like you get everything. So it's very vital that SCARZ, they fight for horse control as much as possible. And that's why they've invested the mute jammers, the Nari lasers, and the deployable shield for that specific location. The fact that DD can just like destroy it all with a few Flores drones is of course insane value for CAG.
Yeah.
They're not gonna have their main push towards it.
I think it's perfect, this combo here. Like Flores, Twitch, and Monty all together. You get so much information before you ever have to make an incision. And then in the late round, you get your Flores and your Twitch just off their gadgets and onto their guns. And you've cleared out everything. You've paved a path for yourselves.
If you get a penalty, they got 2 C4s. If let's say there are no C4s right now, Monty could just walk on in and plant in the bathroom door in theory. Once they get this hallway control, which they are right now, that's how easy this attack could be. Now, because there are 2 C4s in play here, either you gotta shoot them mid-air, bait them out, or try and force them by just kind of walking in deep with the Monty and saying, hey, C4 me please, C4 me please. But no one can stop a Monty from planting right here besides those C4s. Only one of those are gonna be in bathroom. That's gonna be the Warden for sure. Ribbing it right now as we speak. Planting it.
He's gonna get face.
Tossing it.
Nitro goes, and Anaton will fall. There's an immediate trade, however, Nina goes for a flank as well, finds Zaka, falls back. This might be how SCARZ push us into overtime. CAG haven't dealt with those flankers, and they haven't got a position to go and plan.
Yeah, it's gonna be plan B, go for kills, backs up, has to be successful, gets one, has to find one more.
He saw another one inside bathroom, finds it, but no! They fight back again! SCARZ are looking fiery. And they pushed us the distance. OT, here we come.
So sides, who's gonna start where? That's the big question mark for me now. Because the attack inside, it's so much on Anaton. And that's what I love and hate about the Monty at the same time, right? If Anaton starts planting and he's holding the C4 ankle from his teammates and they shoot him mid-air, they win the round. They plant in with 5 attackers alive, easy peasy. If the C4 doesn't get shot mid-air and lands and takes down Anaton who's mid-plant, that's their entire strategy. They didn't bring a second power-up like your Capital that could... Because imagine they had the fire there. You use 2 Capital Fires in bathroom, they can't even be in the C4 position in the first place. They're going to be peeling back in towards the other bomb side, and they get the space for free. So they're playing the double drone operators, the Force of Twitch, which we've been liking, because they're enabling the roam clear, enabling by countering the utility, they can stop the push. But on the flip side, they don't have enough operators available to them to get all the other power-ups. So this could just be with CG staying on the attacking side, playing operators Lucia like your Deimos, maybe like your Capitao, and get more involved with the other strong operators and not pulling 110% just into Monty. Or they can play double shield, Blitz Blackbeard. That's a curveball.
Yeah, that they're going to do. They're also going to complement it with a Ying.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
Look, I think on paper, the previous rounds that CAG had played on their attack, their thought process, it was good. It's just sometimes one critical mistake and you're gone. And in the case of last round, it was the plan. In the case of this round, it's a rush. Will it land? Sputting out the Warden, it's Shurip. He makes his way to the top of the stairs. He's gained a lot of space here for CAG, but SCARZ have read it as well, and they fall back. Now they're repositioning for the rush.
High risk, high reward. That's what this is screaming to me right now from CAG. And they're up against some difficult operators, right? Ella, Thorn, Warden, Denari. They've been countered here by SCARZ in the prep phase, honestly. So it comes down purely to execution and small minor details. Can they find the opening? Can they force the issue here on top main stairs?
It's good fast ground here from CAG, but now they can't play
It is.
cheese anymore because it's been red and because of the traps. They have to play a slow and smart round. That Nitro doesn't find anything. The smoke goes out. Creates a barrier to entry here for SCARZ to try and contest Shurip at the top of the stairs. As I heard the Candelas from DD ring out, he's looking to just bait. He's not getting over aggressive. Big thing is if Shurip is able to drop successfully down below into construction, but the problem is not only a player watching him, but he almost managed to take down. Meanwhile, his teammate's fallen. Oh, it's a retake on the stairs. And it works a charm for SCARZ. DD finds a pick from outside the balcony, but he still hasn't actually gained any ground yet.
I don't know about this one. This attack is all over the place. We see Anderson with Diffuser going for a roam clear, but his team is dying on the main staircase. Here's the horse position. Nate's going out for the shield.
They need to go big for kills here. Candela forces him back. Further, UKIS will fall. And now there's a gap to be found by CAG. As the three attackers regroup together. Fishlike falls back. No, not sure as of yet. He knows he's lost horse control. He's not going to find a safe haven in bathroom, and he will fall. Anderton has that defuse, assessing the situation. There's a player at the top of the main stairs, and it's Nina. He's gone for a triple on the round. He will need to ace up. Goes on DD. Anderton now with a diffuser. Does he find a safe spot to plan as Chibisu on 18 kills looks to cover him? 19 for Chibisu. CAG, one more opportunity here for match point.
What a chaotic round. I don't honestly know what was happening there. We're seeing main stairs, construction tower, the backstep, the horse door. So many small moments happening from CAG, but no real sign of a push. No bigger plan kind of being conjured in the middle of that round. It becomes a clutch. It's again Annie with the diffuser on the other side of the building that just walks into horse with the only grenade left in the round. That clears the shield, forces back the primary defender, and then Chibisu picks up kill after kill around Anderton's shield intel, and they win the round. It's messy, it's scrappy, it's almost old school style CAG, despite the new name by VARREL.
Attackers need to locate
It's
and
not
defuse
like them
as
to
many
play
bombs
this
as they
kind of
can.
messy. They've been so like on the point throughout the entirety of group stage, playing very calculated. But I think SCARZ's own playstyle is kind of forcing CAG's hand. They gotta play a bit scrappy, because look at how SCARZ were defending it. They sent two people sprinting into Blitz on the main staircase, and they're forcing the fight off pace.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Most teams wouldn't do that because on paper it's a bad idea, but SCARZ, they love doing small plays like that. Now we flip the sides, and now I get a little bit worried about SCARZ. They were so strong on defense, but their attacks, they were not as successful after the first two attacking rounds. CAG had them very well figured out by the end.
Yeah, that's right. CAG played very disruptive. Wow, look at that. With the opening kill, this bomb site on the second floor dorms is very, very powerful when you get that opening kill. But actually not powerful at all on the defensive side. The teams that struggle to find that opening kill. Good little graphic there. Gives you some context on how important the start of this round is going to be. Oh, wow, that's a good cheeky little Lamai disc from Zaka. Catches the first Selma. However, if the trade is that they lose Shuri, then I think SCARZ will happily take it.
So it's on for Chibizu here for a 20 bomb. I mean, when you said he was like 13 and 3 a couple of rounds ago, I was thinking, where did he get all those kills? But it's like we saw in the previous round. It just happens. The round plays out. Chibizu is there, but it's not like the rest of CAG by VARREL are falling behind. We have Saga 8-7, DD 9-9, and it's an 8-8. Chub is 7 and 12. He's playing a tough job here in the entries as well. It's just Chibi that's
there you go, 20.
20 bomb. There it is.
Casual 20
Nina
bomb.
as well. That's gonna slow down SCARZ significantly.
Oh, wow.
That's all their soft destruction gone.
A peek onto the roof, by the way, onto Nina. That's a big one. Big player to take down as well. Nina's been very potent here for SCARZ today and throughout the group stages, like Jake said, I believe. Best player in groups. Oh, wow.
Let's see if they can protect the mirror windows here from the Ash.
Zach is getting a lot
What
of
is
info.
Eddie doing?
Oh, he's proning. He's waiting to juggle this wall, and he's successfully done so.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this pivot now from SCARZ. They have to rotate.
Yeah, no EMPs. They literally cannot go for this anymore. There's no EMPs. If they can force a fight in the hallway and shoot the kite claw, then maybe, but there's a mirror window facing them, and Womite is protecting it, so the push is completely dead.
No way.
CAG are playing heavy in structure, heavy in neutral here, and it's a huge counterplay.
Yeah, Zach is in such a pivotal position now. He opens a rotate, so he can actually run out and peek outside the breach. He's also got Anitson behind him. As he starts to get flashed, Anitson can support with a Nitro Cell as needed, especially if Zaka gets info onto where that blitz is going. That's a good flash. Is a C4 going to come in to assist from Anitson? Instead, he decides to take the gunfight, but so does Fishlike. Finds one, looks for a little bit more, gets the double! It's now Chibizu in a 1v2. Out goes the Nitro Cell, doesn't find anything, but he's going up against a blitz in close range, misses the flash, and takes him down! 3K looking for the fourth, but Chibi does not get it! And SCARZ dig deeper and deeper. We go to a 15th.
They're digging the deepest right now. How did they find that round? The mirror window, the lockout, the kite claws, the crossfire, and CAG, they played everything on paper so well until the very final seconds. I mean, regardless of this very final 15th, SCARZ is showing a very good depth here on Fortress. It's the newest map in the map pool. They've been studying it. The sides will switch once again. CAG, they got that Muncie still up open, but is it gonna be a bait? Like, technically, they've been doing so much good work with the shield, but the rounds have not always come down to a victory. SCARZ, they keep just like brute forcing it. They actually got the Shank in the mix. That's the first time we see like a plant denial operator or a shield counter since that smoke ban from CAG.
My God, look at Rek's reaction. I cannot believe that they made that work. 152 EPS for Chibizu. I mean, it's all well and good, right? But lose that 1v1, and it doesn't matter how many kills you get. All the people will remember is that SCARZ took down CAG on Fortress. Like we had said a few rounds ago, Pengu, if SCARZ dig deep here, then this series is very much on. Right? It's kind of a given in our minds that CAG are going to win on Lair. It's just such a good map for them. Not so for SCARZ. But going to Bank, that's winnable. That's possible here for SCARZ.
That's a good SCARZ map. Oh, man.
It would be such an upset
I mean,
if SCARZ beat CAG
Chibizu
today.
dropping an ace right now ties him for the best of 1 kill record, by the way. 27. Just saying. There is still hope for that.
And he could be on for the best
But
of 3
just-
record if this goes the distance.
Oh, true, yeah. And it just goes to show how many kills you get. Look at the Shanka. It's a pure shield counter. It's perfect. It stuns the blitz and stops him from sprinting. His teammate of Wreck is there to support him to get the kill. They literally waited till 15th and final round to bring out the Shanka for this exact purpose. It makes it you feel like the shields are unkillable. There's a bait. Now they play 4 versus 5 in the final round of Fortress.
Yeah, that's perfect. SCARZ are talking up the pressure now onto CAG, but there is a backup shield here in Anitson on that Blackbeard. SCARZ, their defense looks very rock solid. They're just waiting. There's so much util. They're just going to sit behind it. They've stacked traps everywhere. Oh, big kill as well on a Chibizu. No ace for him. A
It's
double
over.
up. Last bullet in the magazine for Waishoy, and I think Fortress might be put to bed. It's time to GG and go next. But not if Zach has got anything to say about it. He's got to read that there's actually a player on his flank in the renovation tower. Yukiz does fall back down below into lobby.
Yeah.
Now, this is such
Can't
a...
afford to throw now.
I mean, sure, but this is also such an unwinnable position for CAG, right?
It's unwinnable right now, but imagine you go for a flank, there's a drone, you get shot down, now you're playing 2 versus 3, then you hit a nasty shot, now you're 2 versus 2. It's why SCARZ are playing, I don't want to say scared, they're playing disciplined. Yuki's now back near the bomb site, getting more and more bodies in close proximity for a trade game.
Good info.
That's how you gotta play it.
Maybe there's a way in here. A pre-fire. Zaka
that's
finds one.
And
Checks
they
the
know,
corner.
they know.
If he gets a second, it could be
Double
possible,
swing.
but no, the Thorn Trap saves him. Zach's on the ground. He might actually be able to res 2v2. Yukiz needs to come in to support. Darts around with Fishlike in the same room. Zaka forcing that plant down. He fakes it. I think it's been heard. Needed to find that kill, didn't you, DD? Into the 1v1! And Yukiz comes out on top. SCARZ steal the map. And with that, there is very much a chance in this series.
The final moment, Pony on the ground, holding the ankle. They're both trading back and forth. I told you, you gotta fall back and play that crosser because you never know when CAG will find some crazy kills out of nowhere and get back to even numbers advantage, or back to even numbers rather. But it will be SCARZ causing the upset on map number 1.
Wow. With that map being won in overtime, 8-7 by the way, CAG had 3 match point opportunities. SCARZ denied every single one of them to finally claim their own and take the map. With that done, I just cannot see that CAG will be able to go through this bracket unscathed. No, SCARZ have already shown that they are indeed beatable. Can they get it done though? We'll find out after the break.
안녕하세요. 저는 레인보우 식시즈 프로게이머 하퍼고요. 에이펙 노스 지역에서 활동하고 있습니다. 제가 게임을 처음 시작하게 된 건 이제 가족의 영향이 제일 컸고요. 그 중에 특히 집에서 부모님 둘이서 이제 컴퓨터 2대를 가져다 놓고 같이 게임하는 걸 매우 좋아하셨고, 이제 집에도 플레이스테이션 2, 3, 1까지 다 있었어가지고 뭐 자연스럽게 그런 환경의 영향을 받은 것 같고요. 제가 제일 처음 했던 게임은 메탈 기어 솔리드 2였고 제가 제일 좋아했고, 뭐 컴퓨터도 있었어가지고 뭐 RTS, FPS, TPS 정말 여러 장르를 하면서 이제 FPS 할 때가 제일 즐거웠던 것 같습니다. 근데 저한테는 8살 아래 남동생이 있고, 남동생한테도 레인보우 식스를 추천을 해서 같이 해봤었는데 한 중학교인가 초등학교 6학년 때 생각보다 잘하고, 제가 게임 지식만 알려주고 뭐 에임은 저보다 반응 속도나 이런 건 좋더라고요. 피가 이어져 있는지 모르겠는데 그래가지고 생각보다 즐겁게 했었어요. 스트레스도 안 받고 좀 못해도 귀여우니까. 특히 저희 아빠가 클라우드9에서 제이가 왔다는 소식을 듣고 제가 어떻게 할지 고민하는 척 연락을 해봤는데, 오히려 부모님이 더 좋아하시면서 절대로 해라, 너 이거 안 하면 너 끝이다 하면서 무조건 하라고 등 떠밀어 주셨던 기억이 있습니다. 아직 국제전 우승은 없어가지고 막 그렇게 특별한 기억은 없는데, 그래도 막 국내 대회 우승하거나 해외 진출한다고 했을 때 막 부모님이 막 회사 사람들한테 자랑하거나, 그리고 막 제 프로필 사진을 메신저 프로필 사진으로 바꿔놓는다거나 막 그런 건 보였어. 민망하기도 한데 뭐 한편으로는 좀 뿌듯하기도 하고 나쁘지 않은 것 같아요. 본인한테 들은 얘기로는 운동선수 쪽으로 간다고 하고, e스포츠 커리어는 뭐 저랑 같이 게임했다 정도밖에 없는 것 같아요. 좀 복합적인 것 같은데, 그래서 저는 레인보우 식스를 플레이하기 전까진 다른 게임에서 경쟁심이라는 걸 딱히 느껴본 적이 없었는데, 이제 이 게임을 시작하고 나고 이제 저보다 약하다고 생각하는 사람들한테 지거나 할 때부터 약간 막 가슴에서 좀 불이 나는 듯한 느낌이 들으면서, 이게 뭔가 계속 열심히 하는 게 이제 꾸준히 반복되다 보니까 이렇게 된 것 같네요.
Sometimes you can set a match up with all of your gusto to hope that it will fulfill the idea of what it could be. And this time it did. We hoped that SCARZ was going to do what we've seen them do in the past, and we were a little worried. There was a little moment of shakiness at the start of the second half, but Guz, I think it's fair to say that they've solidified themselves nicely in this, and now this series is truly on our hands.
Yeah, as I was saying during the match, a broken clock is still right twice today. The broken clock being us on the desk, because it feels like we've tried to pump up the tires of the underdog in basically every match that we've had so far for the APL finals, and finally one is delivering thus far. And I really want to talk about the clutch factor for SCARZ across this matchup. There were 4 clutches total across this map, 2 of which were actually in OT. All of them went the way of SCARZ in those really fine moments, and I mean, a couple of them were like immediate 1v1 trades right at the end, so you wouldn't maybe classify them in the traditional sense of being a clutch, but technically speaking they were. So the late round play from them was really tidy, and it kept them in the match. If they go the other way, we would have had a very different outcome.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. And Jake, looking back at, I guess, what we were talking about at the halftime break, which funnily enough actually continued to be an issue, and even Dev brought it up as we were getting closer to the penultimate round. Nina and Shurip really just did not have the impact we'd hoped for.
Yeah, and in the end, that's probably the difference either way. I mean, obviously, SCARZ would go and get the win 8-7 without really Nina firing, and he's been their star man all stage long, but Shurip 7-13. I mean, if you just get Shurip on a normal day, top 4 rated player, typically averages around 119 EPS. In this series, like, what was it, like 70 something? So that's probably a difference, is it not? In an 8-7 kind of game, they really missed their star man. He struggled in the entry battles, 2-3. Anaton as well, 1-4 in the entry. So he's a player that you're going to get a lot of high impact out of. He's going to make good plays, typically on the shields, all of the good stuff. So when he's 1-4, that's quite a lot of rounds where he's dead very early on in the round. And Nina as well, 0-3, that doesn't help. But the ones who did stand up, of course, Chibitsu, even in the loss, 22 kills.
That's insane.
Only the 6 deaths, 3-0 entry, 87% cost. He did a lot right. And we're speaking to James very briefly in terms of what was the impact in a lot of those kills. And certainly there were impact moments in impact rounds by Chibitsu, but I think a lot of them too probably didn't have as much of an impact as he and maybe for CAG would have liked. And then the rest of the lineups, everyone else. If you take Chibitsu out of this, I know he's on our screen right now, but Zaka to Anaton, 11-9 kills. And then on the SCARZ side of things, everyone was between 11 and 8 kills. This was a very close game. And Chibitsu was probably the standout, but clearly didn't stand out enough to make the difference.
It is tough, but ultimately this is when you are slicing between hairs, when the margin for error is so small in matches like this where SCARZ are a phenomenal team on their day, it does come down to either players doing very well or underperforming. And at the end of the day, for me, where SCARZ are at now, it does start to solidify what we were talking about in the pre-show, which I'm so glad. Sometimes it does just come to fruition. And look, we're not experts. We may claim to be, but we're truly not. I think that history has shown that when SCARZ can find momentum against good teams, they can do a lot of damage. So as we turn to Lair, Guz, this is the interesting conversation, because we were kind of going into this saying Fortress is an absolute must-win. Does that now change in your mind?
I don't think so. They've kept it competitive enough, CAG. They have Chibisu firing as well. I'm not too concerned about Lair, which is a map historically, and the numbers suggesting is very one-sided in their favor. I think we very much stand by the assessment that this is a win in 3 situation for SCARZ. I'm not really changing my outlook too much based on that first map in particular, but it's still obviously positive for SCARZ. They get a bit of a free punch here. That's how I view this second map. There's a world in which they can look competitive here, but to envision an outright map win and series win is still really tough in this position.
Well, we're not going to change our tune pretty much. If we're saying that they need to win Fortress so that they can potentially get to the third and final map off Bank, it doesn't change now. I agree with Guz. I think you get the free swing, you get the free hit on Lair. Ultimately now the pressure actually goes the other way on to CAG because they didn't steal Fortress. Otherwise they would have been far more comfortable coming into their map of Lair. There's a good chance SCARZ could really cause an upset here. I mean, clearly they started really hot.
Yep.
CAG then obviously brought their best, got the game back underway, and they went all the way to 8-7. SCARZ edged it out. And with that, they should take a lot of confidence in the free hit, as we say, going into Lair.
The last time SCARZ won on this map, over 3 months ago, and it was against B&K Fearex, who honestly were a bit of a wounded beast this year. 7-2 was the one. And I think that if we were to contextualize this right now, SCARZ are in the greatest position they could possibly be. The boys have said it on the desk. I'll reiterate it. This is a free stab. This is an opportunity here for SCARZ to really push CAG into an uncomfortable position. Remembering again that there is only one spot for APAC North, and right now CAG came into this the best team in APAC North. They did not lose a single map in group stages. Well, they've already faltered here in the finals. Let's hope that they can back up as we head to Lair.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, it's time to dig into the second map. It is CAG's pick, Nick, and we very much expect them to come back with a fiery vengeance here on map 2.
Very much so. I mean, sometimes the top dogs who have been undefeated the entire stage need to feel that pressure again, right? Not take it too for granted and it's easy, we can just win and hide strats and whatever else. No, it's a real series now. Well, there is an upper and lower bracket, so if you were to lose a match here, you still have a game in the future. It's not going to be the end of your trip here towards the finals.
Well, yes, there is an upper and lower bracket.
Upside.
There is only one spot for APAC North, which means that despite this maybe being one of the closest sub-regions, I should say, of the APL, it feels a little bit crazy, especially now that we, for the first time, see that CG actually can be tested. Coming into today, we hadn't seen them lose a single map. We hadn't seen them even be pushed to overtime. The worst result they had from the group stage was beating D+ Kia 5-7, and funnily enough, beating Can You Be My Enemy 5-7 as well. Funnily enough, that win over D+ was on this same very map of Lair. CAG have beaten the 2 best teams in the league outside of themselves on this map. If they win here, then that makes 3 for 3, the best 3 teams in the league outside of themselves.
Now, as everyone's kind of saying, right, the desk and us, Fortress, that was going to be the question mark about, will this be a 3-mapper? And with SCARZ taking the victory, odds are, yeah, probably going to be a 3-mapper. But there's something about SCARZ today that is just a step above the entire tier of groups. And I don't know if it's about the history between these 2 organizations, what's happened in the past, where SCARZ tend to take the win. But they are looking like they're so hungry for it. Now they're bringing out the chunk in their first round as well. It's how they won one of the most important rounds of Fortress. So they're going to try and start their wins here on Lair. CAG by VARREL, they have to think now with DD-Man playing the Monty, it's a much more passive approach, right? You're gonna be droning and checking and calling the shots. Whereas when Anaton plays the multi, it's about getting kills around that control. So it's two different players playing the same operators and the entire team playing differently around it.
Well, I like that. Rek is being really smart about his Zami keeper barriers, but unfortunately he's not so smart about taking the fight with Anaton. Type 89 finds the headshot, and then it doesn't matter about the verticality from below. The Azami is taken down early before he can use his keeper barriers to fortify that masked desk position.
This is scary. I feel like we see a standoff on this window almost every play day. Shotgun close on the inside, and a tag on the outside thinking, is it safe? Is it not? If you walk up too far, you're just bound to get taken out because winning that shotgun battle is almost impossible. But they're both so patient. Meanwhile, they're clearing the main staircase with the Monty, bashing with the shield. They're breaching the walls by the main bomb side. This is CAG by VARREL applying pressure almost everywhere across the map.
Yeah, and now a second pick.
Chibisu survived the shotgun.
Yeah, somehow he took almost all of his HP worth of damage, but did find a kill regardless. It's the same guy who got, what, 23 kills in that first map, by the way, and still lost it. Now Fishlike and Ukits are the two last players alive for SCARZ. And it's pretty good info here for CAG by VARREL. Thank you, Shuri, for that death mark. But Chibisu goes down. Surely a trade to come from Shuri. Oh, no, never mind. Ukiz makes the 2v3 a 2v1. SCARZ really had no right winning this round. Zach has got a clutch up. Diffuser in pocket. The smokes go out.
Tough one. Not many things to do. Has to go and try and play for a kill, right? But there is one. Injure, at least.
He's got the info. He just needs to land one bullet onto Fishlike, but Fishlike strikes true first. Oh, looks a bit nervous after that. But a warranted 1v1. A big opening round for SCARZ, especially since CAG looked to be in the favor.
Again, the discipline. When they get into like the 2v2s, the 2v1s, SCARZ, their team who historically, they can make a bit of a mistake sometimes. Like one guy is swinging, one guy's playing passive, but they have been locked in on the same win condition today. It starts off with trying to fight off the Deimos, the Monty, and the Hibana on Ops Room. That doesn't go their way. But then they keep challenging here in the bathroom, on the main staircases. They both play passive here at the very end. Comes down to Fishlike, like locking in the final kill. Well done. And I mean, if you're Sparky, the coach of CAG by VARREL right now, you're probably gonna get a little bit more nervous at every round that goes by, right? Because like, guys, we should be winning. We had a dominant stage. We just talked about this. We practiced it. Like, there's a SCARZ. They're much worse than us. Because they have high expectations. I feel like this might be the most serious I think CAG has looked from the outside looking in. And maybe that's because we're speaking to Sparky, who's, one, he's very confident in him and his ways and how they're doing it as a team. And two, he's very, very good at giving us insight into what it is that they're doing. It feels like the way they're practicing, how they're treating group states, like Sparky said, we're doing no external analysis, right? Where I'm gonna have the players of CAG by VARREL go into a game and then feel out their opponent. They choose the operator band sometimes, they choose the attacking strategies. I'm not gonna give them much to help them because we're doing this as a way of practicing adaptation on the fly. And that's incredible when you're taking your group stage so serious yet unserious that you can do that because you know you're gonna win regardless. But now we're in stage finals. Now it's where you're doing your external, you have to play adaptation, you're putting the last 2 or 3 months together for this exact moment to get a convincing victory. And this is when CAG are falling just a little bit short.
Swapping mags.
Playing very slowly this round as well. Down into the basement they go.
Yeah.
They've got to deal with roamers. A lot of roamers, by the way. Every single player on the SCARZ side is on that first floor, not in the basement. SCARZ are a team often looking for a gap, but that's not to be this round. Pengu, they're pretty much looking for a map clear. They're not putting any pressure on the
and
site.
I mean, again, it's a good counter prep here for SCARZ, right? They know they're not going to pressure the bomb site, so they all start roaming, but Chibisu has been so good in this series, finds one. Shuri then shut down trade evenly, and SCARZ are not falling back. They're going to keep fighting.
Yeah, good backstab there from Zaka. Fishlike's gone all the way to the top floor. Rek is not in a good spot. Oh, he's just seen that the attackers have decided to flood the bomb site. I think CAG have finally realized that SCARZ are all upstairs. Verticality might be their demise, though, as Rek does take down DD Man, forcing that plant. With Nina getting picked on up, it becomes a 3v3. CAG might have the site, but they do not have a plant down. And the roles are flipped. All of a sudden, CAG are in the bomb site, being pressured from up above, from the holes that their own team made. But Chibisu sneaks back upstairs, takes down Rek. Now Anderton looks to try and consolidate, get into a safer spot to plant. Fish-like, the last one left for SCARZ, and they know exactly where he is. Zaka holds him down. A little bit too close for a moment there for CAG, but they recompose and find that conversion.
It's gotta be that mid-round adaptation practice paying off, because they were very quick at recognizing, guys, we're fighting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders upstairs. There's gonna be a huge gap on the bomb side. Just sprint down a staircase, drop down the hatch, so they take full side control. Yes, there's a bit of verticality and impact grenade, plant denial situation happening, but then Chibisu flanks back above, regains the vert control. They have flagged by the bomb side, and it's a round lock there for CAG. So great read. It does feel like SCARZ, they have the better beginning of the round prep, right? Based on bombs at 5 roamers. They know CAG don't look for gaps. Perfect read. So it comes down to CAG really playing the adaptation game and say, okay, are they giving us space for free? Are they fighting for the space? Are they playing heavy roaming, or are they playing for a fallback strat? But it's so much harder when you're playing against an opponent where you don't know what they're going to be doing, and you have to continuously make these adaptations. It's really challenging CAG's mental game, and also tiring them out both physically and mentally. Because when you're having all these different problems to solve, CAG becomes a super taxing game on the mental. And it's, I think, thankfully for CAG, having both and DD who can share that mental load of problem solving, it's going to give them much more longevity in this BO3.
Could be that we're in for a very long night at Siege, Pengu. I mean, between SCARZ taking a map off of CAG and D plus Kinatrope having the potential to be a real ripper barn burner of a game, we could be in for 6 maps tonight. And yeah, our first map going 8-7 certainly doesn't bode well for how long the broadcast could go, but it really does bode well for the pure volume of entertainment we're going to get out of these teams. The tenacity with which SCARZ has already shown in the first map continues here into the second. CAG never to be underestimated. They go and attack now the tertiary bomb site. Step one typically is clear out the Azami, who plays on these green stairs. Washoi's created a nice little one-way angle with that far keeper barrier at the end of the hallway.
It's not an easy task, though, to clear the assignment, but with the Capital and Blackbeard on the board, it should definitely be doable. We're seeing in our approach in the hallway. C4, though, takes down shoot. There's a Capital done as well. And Asami actually escaped the staircase. They rotated. So they get a kill. They don't have a player in like a play-to-die position now from Mashoy. There's a big win here from SCARZ. Again, good adaptation, good read early on, and CAG back to problem solving, losing that Capital.
Yeah. What's my Washoy escaped, but he also escaped with 2 impacts in pocket, which are going to be very useful against Anderton in the late round. SCARZ still maintaining control upstairs as well, with 3 players roaming. Plenty of info on a potential plant. We've got a bulletproof in bunks. We've got 3 vault cams. We've got the warden to peer through the smokes. And we've got Yukis on the solos, but the plant seems to be going down regardless. That's a big run out from Nina. DD fakes a plant, then reattempts, then looks to go again. Being watched by Yukis, but I think he's realized CAG were going for a plant. He's overclocked his device so that he can check whether it is actually a plant, and he hasn't been faked out here.
What is happening right now? CG's completely frozen the round. DD-Man is still in there. Could go for a plant, could go back above, but there's 30 seconds left to play here. They gotta make a decision fast. He's actually outside the bomb site now, and they've lost all their smokes.
Ooh, that's a big kill though. Yukis finding 2, including Anderton. Now Washoy joins the fray. A backstab from Zaka was desperate and ineffective. DD-Man 1v3. Impact from Washoy as he goes running outside. Shotgun might find the kill, but it's not going to find him anything else. You can try and plant all you like, but Yukis is going to deny it from up above. There's no point in even trying. And SCARZ take that round on defense, largely in part to that vertical game from those roamers like Yuki's up above.
Great use of Solus, right? Just maintaining that bomb site intel if the plant is or is not going down. CAG, they only had 2 smoke grenades on the Thermite to work with because they lost the Capital early. So, I mean, if SCARZ can get that one important pick and just play safe for the rest of the round, that can just net them some of those victories. Operator ban-wise, I'm not sure what you go for here. Deimos, Monty, Capital, Blackbeard. It's going to be Deimos. And then Kaiden responds, so CAG playing around the walls, very common for Lair, the Bandit, Kaid, and the Mirror. It's purely about enabling the heart-breaching capabilities and not getting stuck on the outside of the building for too long. The thing is, despite these operator bans, CAG is still kind of stuck outside the building, right?
Yeah, well, I was about to say, I mean, you've just struggled for 2 of those attacks and you didn't come up against the Kaid once. Now you banned Kaid. It just feels like a bit of a mistake to me. I would have much rather to see, a Warden ban. Maybe not the Azami. I feel like Azami is doable, but look, they're running a lot of traps. They're obviously running the Solus. They're running the Warden. I guess the problem here going up against SCARZ is just the pure depth of that operator pool. Like, I'm counting. We've got Azami, Tachanka, Thorn, Warden, Castle, Goyo, Ella, Skopos, Fenris, Smoke, Solus. Is what, 11 different operators, if I'm not wrong, that SCARZ have played so far in just 3 rounds of defense. You ban an operator that they haven't even touched once. I don't know if I agree with it.
Devil's advocate is they haven't played it yet, right? But what if they start to? But I see what you
Then
mean.
you can counter with 10,000 other operators.
Yeah, Maverick's there.
Yeah, Maverick's there. Even Thatcher is there, man. Like, run a Thatcher.
And they played Thatcher earlier last round.
They played it last round.
It's yeah, it's the whole like double heart breach, which that's not for this game, but like double heart breach or double wall deny breach, they've been a big conversation. People they banded the Kaid, and you go, okay, but there are so many other defenders that are open now. Is it worth it? But then sometimes we see teams struggle against the Bandit and or Kaid 2 Brow, and we're thinking, yeah, it's so worth banning them because it sucks to get stuck outside the building. That one I've still not fully cleared in my own head, like what's worth it, what's not. I see the vision. CAG clearly just don't want to deal with the heart breaching, so they have to be successful at dealing with everything else, and that's where they've been falling short because they've not done so. Now SCARZ are playing both the smoke and the Changa. They can cover a shield push in 2 different sides, plant denial, 2 different sides. They got the Warden because in case of the glass, in case of those smoke grenades being effective, I think SCARZ are doing a great job at the auto selection round and round.
Nice idea there.
Scary.
With the Tachanka and the Thorn and the Goyo stacking up so much, not Goyo, the Tachanka and the barbed wire, so much damage. I really like the way that Fishlike is using this Tachanka early because he knows even if he runs out of Shamika pellets, he's still got the smoke for Plantar on the late round, even a Nitro cell from Washoy.
So much util. DD's done a great job though. Hasn't taken any damage.
Big.
But timer is ticking. There's a swing in. Chibisu through the fire gets the kill. That's a worthy trade. SCARZ now peel back the layers. They do technically have spare reinforcements if they want to. They could close some of those angles and play close towards the bomb site itself. When you're losing a body early, it can be smart to just play in a smaller area. It's less things to cover, less angles to worry about, but it gets worse. Shuri also takes away Nina, playing that important smoke operator.
And Washoy has lashed out for a kill. The big thing here is Rek's position inside office. Wow, that's a big Nitro. The fact that DD survived is a miracle for CAG. He's low on HP, and there's still tick damage here with Fishlike. The Monty starts to make his way forward. DD is not the best operator plant any longer as he's low HP, and Rex actually stabbed him in the back. Thankfully for Zaka, there is a trade. Rex just got re-aggressive inside of Master Office. Inside of Mask, and the breach also didn't fully go off as well, so now they're going to have to fix that. With the tin can opener, Washoy now on for a big flank as Fishlike on the bomb side just sits back. It's up to Zaka now to force the plant down. Chibi and Shuri, hang on a second, plant was denied!
Shut down!
Washoy from down below! Denies the plant, and that is all that SCARZ need to steal the 3rd round.
Again, it's one thing, it's one important pick, it's one operator, it's one counter strat. Time and time again, SCARZ, they're ready for it. They got depth, they got adaptations, and they're winning their fights. Also, DD-Man going down on Monty right before the main push from a flank in the hallway. Huge moment for SCARZ too. It's not many battles they need to win to get that round victory, but they keep winning the right one. That was with losing 2 players early. That was effectively a 3 versus 5. Ridiculous how they're doing this.
So
Watch
many
it
good
back
moments from CAG. I mean, firstly, Rex should never have been able to regress and take down the Monty, but immediately traded on back. The only way that that round is won by SCARZ is Washoy denying that plan from down below, and I don't even know if he had info to do it or whether it was just blind on the default plant spot.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's a real kicker, though, for CAG. That was their round, open and shut case.
10 seconds to insertion.
They've not called their Ted timeout, though, right? I mean, they're holding on for dear life, but the mental tilt, it has to slowly start creeping in because this is not the first or second round they've lost. They probably should have won. If you go all the way back to Fortress, we can name many more rounds where, you know, that was close, but they should have won it. They didn't. SCARZ, they clutch it.
I got a scary stat for you, right? Obviously, right now, the best that CAG can do is win 3 out of 6 attempts on the attacking side. Against Kinnetrode, CAG won 3 out of 5 attempts on the attacking side. Against D+, they won 4 out of 6 attempts. Against RRX, they won all 6 rounds on the attacking side. CAG are a good attacking team on this map. The fact that they are down 1-3 right now is a huge red flag. Add to that the context of Fortress, and I would be very worried if I was on CAG right now.
Yeah. That's exactly it. We look at Fortress and how Lair's currently playing out in this Scream. SCARZ is bound to go for a victory run, but it's not over just yet. But CAG, I would say they need this round right here. They need to get back in that momentum, get back with their confidence. It's going to be Shurip now and more aggressive operators, right? The Deimos was target banned away earlier on. It's Blackbeard Anakin, Shurip on the Solid Snake. They want to go for kills. They're expecting SCARZ to do the same kind of roam game with 5 people away from the bomb side, challenging them for a kill. But look at SCARZ again. They're playing the fadeaway. They're going to play on the staircase with the Goyo canisters, the Fenrir mines. And then they can go for a backstab maybe with Washoy with the Scopus teleport if the Shadow's up above. So SCARZ have completely changed the round.
Yeah.
They went from playing super aggro to super passive.
It keeps CAG guessing.
Time is going to be a problem.
Yeah, indeed it is. It's the only bomb site that CAG have won so far. And they won it pretty decisively after winning that roam game. Now they are tested on the bomb site. Ooh, nice. The Thatcher is used to EMP.
He can't pop it again.
Indeed he can't. And now the pressure goes out. Yuki still finds a kill and traded back onto Wellington as well. Oh, it's a disaster for CAG today. Zaka tries to bring it back. Good trade onto Washoy. Perhaps SCARZ overextended a little bit just by holding onto that staircase, but he didn't feel like he could get back. And that is another one. Rek committing to the bit a little bit too hard. SCARZ bet a little bit too brightly immediately after they had their advantage, and now it might be about to slip away from them.
Overcommitted. Just take the 2-for-1 trade, fall back, play the numbers game. Instead, they want the whole round in that very brief moment. Now they can't deny a plant. There is no shield though for CAG, so gunfights are even. It's headshots for everybody here. 20 seconds to go. No real plant denial, but also little intel for CAG.
Oh. Yeah, wow. They've really turned it on. Immediately after that incredible play from the smoke, CAG flipped back into it. A second round on the attacking side. That is more like it. 1 more to go.
Disgusting. You lose a round that you have no business losing, but then you win one because thankfully the opponent's feeling a little bit too confident in the server. That was the first time in a while where we've seen SCARZ not playing the discipline, where they actually won that one important battle on the staircase, getting a 2-for-1 trade, but then they wanted more. They wanted the whole round, and that came back to bite them. There was a fallback. There was not Vert done. Nobody on the window downstairs. Washoy could have fallen back right here. Rek didn't have to commit right here either.
Two
and
players.
I think you have the Sword versus 2. Yeah, you reinforce the wall down in the bottom here. Like that's a wrap.
Shurip's having a bit of a
for a
shocker
3-3.
of a game as well. I mean, they certainly could go for a 3-3.
Bomb located by attackers.
I'm just looking at Shurip. He was 7-13 on map 1. He's now 1-4 on map to that's
10 seconds
8
to
and
go.
17. Not a very high KD for the player that is meant to be kind of that unpredictable fragger on CAG. You've got your tried and true, your very like point and shoot Chibisu, and same with Zaka. And then you've got Anaton, who's always doing Anaton things. You've got DD, who's that hard support. Shuripa's the one that's meant to be that unpredictable. He plays a little bit more risky, but today he's just, sadly, every single risk seems to have been punished. He's not had the reads. And he needs to have a big impact. He's on that Capital. We know that SCARZ are excellent at defending this bomb site. And CAG are actually no longer running that Thatcher, Pengu, this time around. So I don't know how they're going to deal with the Solus and the Warden.
Could just be a planting behind the Monty and saying, you know where we're planting, but you can't quite stop us. I mean, small thing here going unnoticed is Nina is 0-5. And like the SCARZ are winning without Nina popping off, like, which they usually always are, right? Like that's completely from the radar for me. SCARZ aren't even playing at 110%, if you will. But yeah, back to the Monty part. I think you can plant behind the Monty, so Monty will extend the shield, someone plants behind him. The Warden can't shoot through the shield, nor can the Solids, and there is no real angle to be found then. It's a very limited attack here on the window of hell, on the staircase, Skybridge. Again, SCARZ just take the fight to CAG.
Huge amount of aggression there from Washoy. So unusual that you would push all the way down that hallway, past the window, and deep onto the play. I mean, you could see Chibisu had no idea that was coming his way. DD getting desperate, actually aimed down sights to take that fight afterwards.
Smoke.
Now they are getting deep plant behind the Monty while the exothermic charge goes off on the other bomb side. I don't think anyone is realizing the plan's going down. And by the time UKiz knows, it's far too late. SCARZ have let this one slip between their fingers, but they still have the numbers advantage. And CAG are one rifle down with that Monty up. How do they hold this in the post? It's up to SCARZ to make the first move. A run out. Washoy is punished for it. However, Rek gets an angle onto DD, and suddenly CAG under a little bit of extra pressure. They don't have that free information from that Monty. Zaka misses his chance. And maybe Fishlight can commit to this. UKiz has to cover. Fishlight fakes it, but hang on a second! Out of nowhere! SCARZ retake, they find every single player. The defuse is free, and they lock in the half as a 4-2 split. CAG are getting a run for their money today.
Just like that. Just like that, James Devmarter Stewart. That's how you do a soft throw, Pengu. That one's going to be sticking for the rest of time, don't you? Are you going limp, are you? The best part is for everyone at home. I mean, that is... I think we have set this up as well as we could have, and the thing is, it's not about how we set it up, it's about how they deliver. And right now, SCARZ are delivering, and that's the thing that I can't understand, is how well they're delivering.
And you know what's interesting? We were just sitting here as that last round was playing out, talking about the throw, really what it was in round 5, and what SCARZ could have done, which would have been a 4-1 lead. Ultimately, as we kind of look back here to close out this final half, we also then probably thought, with that plant being successful, guys said it was going to be 3-3, and then SCARZ go and win it anyway.
They've kind of made up for that fifth round in a sense, right? SCARZ could have been in a slightly better position had that have played out in a different fashion, but a credit to their resilience and their strength on this map so far, and a good example of how we can set up a match being correct, and it's kind of even better in a sense, because I had at least basically written off SCARZ in this map. I didn't expect them to look this competitive. Here is round 5. So the over-peaking in this round from SCARZ when they had the opportunity to consolidate was insane. The double stack here events proved so costly. Rek gave a freebie away, and then of course the rest of the team under so much pressure for the remainder of the round. CAG, you know, dotted their I's, crossed their T's, etc., and got that round across the line. If this round played out differently, SCARZ would be up 5-1.
Yeah, I mean, the last two deaths here, we were kind of saying it back in the green room, Rob, is at this point, because of what the first two did in swinging towards the stairs, the last two are now in this really awkward situation, lacking information. They're clearly uncomfortable with their positioning. CAG are taking good space, get droned out. Like, there's no cover, there's no support. There's just too many attackers that are infiltrating. So at this point, 2-3. Then to close out the half, plant down. Things were looking good for CAG. And if they had got this to 3-3, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe the last two rounds for SCARZ, a little bit throw territory, and there's your way back in for CAG. But credit to be able to close out Bunks Breathing, get that fourth round on a map where, quite honestly, I didn't give SCARZ as much of a chance. I know that we were talking about, you know, Sierra's on our hands and things like that, especially after Fortress. But Fortress, we assumed was going to be close, and it was. This I was not expecting.
Not at all. And it does go to show the one of the opening lines that we were talking about is how competitive is APAC North? And Guz, you're getting your answer right here. You had CAG that went flawless in groups, SCARZ that barely made it through to finals, but yet look at the score. Look at how well SCARZ are performing.
Again, like we said in the pre-show, right? These two organizations over such a prolonged period of time have been ultra competitive at the peak of their powers, and so this is another good demonstration. If SCARZ can look tidy here on their attacks, maybe they can walk away 2-0 up.
And just very quickly before we throw it back over to James and Nick, keeping track of Sharif and Nina, 1-5 for Sharif, 0-6 for Nina.
Crazy.
I don't know what's going on in the water tonight for those two in particular. Maybe because I put the spotlight on them.
Yeah.
But again, as I kind of said back on the opening map, if one of those activates, that's enough to hopefully get their team over the line. If it's Nina, well, that could be huge for SCARZ.
Jake, you and cursing players, I'll tell you what, it's past the commentary curse anymore. It's you are literally, you've got a voodoo doll in the back of your pocket. I completely understand. Speaking of a voodoo doll, how about we go back to Gumby and his mate?
Thanks, man. I don't really know what you're getting at there, but I'll leave you to it. Just to bring things back to the very serious note which we find ourselves. As a reminder, Pengu, CAG got 3 rounds of attack against Kinatrope. They got 4 rounds of attack against D+, and they got all 6 against RX. Against SCARZ, they've only found 2 in the whole half. This is such a red flag. We should have alarm bells ringing right now for CAG fans. SCARZ are on their merry way to an upset.
On the right track, but, you know, when you're up against a big team like CAG, there is always a world where you just choke it, right? The pressure becomes too much for you. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm worried about Nina a little bit, right? The further you get in like the 0, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like the further and further you get in that 0 tally, the worse or the less confidence you'll have in the server usually. I think Nina just needs that 1 kill, just to start off that track of like, okay, I'm on the board now.
Gotta go for the James Bond first.
But not yet. Oh, right. Gotta go all the way. Sure thing. Oh, with opening kill. Interesting. So opening kill for defense doesn't actually change that much statistically. Who would have thought?
10% change, yeah.
It's a lot of fun
Oh,
stuff
here we
for
go.
you,
Come on, Annie.
This is disgusting,
It
by the way.
is. How on earth do you win this? You
Oh
don't. That's
my
the answer.
God.
Yukis goes down. Everyone seemingly for SCARZ goes
Nina, get a
down.
kill!
Nina finds his first kill. No 007 today. It's just Nina and Rek now to pick up the pieces, but this round has gone well and truly down the toilet. They tried to rush into the bomb site. We can see Fishlike's body with that diffuser as well, right in the middle of it. Now Sharif and DD Man can lock that up with fire and smoke, and I don't expect SCARZ will be able to get that defuse back, especially with Anderton waiting with the clash.
That's a classic, right? Come on to an attack, the clash on defense, it stops the pushes, gives you a ton of intel, and it's forcing SCARZ to a tough position. Rek finds one on the DD man. Nina shot in the back, now confirmed leaving just for Rek on the glass, no smokes in pocket, all alone.
Again being stared at by the clash. Anderton will swing and finish him off. It's a good start to the defensive half by CAG, but of course it is just step 1.
1 round at a time, nice and steady. That's all you really need. And SCARZ always have that little backup of, okay, the one operator, that'll be a huge issue for them. They can ban it after the 3rd round, right? That could be the Clash, could be a Mira. Probably going to be one of those 2 operators, honestly. Is that always going to be Smoker to Shanga? It's going to be about the pushing power.
Curiously, SCARZ went for 2 bans, which were the same as CAG's bans, the Kaid and Bandit. They're just anti-hard breach bans, not going for anything that's about the area denial like the Smoke or Tachanka, nothing about power positions like Clash and Azami, all of which are very powerful on this map. It's funny though, I do feel like, you know, the thing that classically happens with metas, Pengu, is that teams get so used to doing something and playing in a certain way or without certain operators that we kind of forget how powerful they are. So right now, I'm saying, oh, why don't we ban the Smoke or the Tachanka or whatever? But then you let Bandit and Kaid in for a bit, and you're like, oh crap, I forgot how good these guys were. But then some teams also get out of practice with countering them. So if you are getting used to, if you figure out a good system against Bandit Kaid, you don't care that they've brought it. You're just like, well, they've wasted 2 operator picks. I've nabbed the wall. Bang. or I've gotten a free kill from down below
I think
with my
that's the bigger
Deimos.
combo. Well, I think that's the much bigger talking point. It's not a matter of how strong Bandit Kite really are, because you can just ban the two Varrel, and then like you can deal with the Kite Bandit with verticality, MPs, whatever the case, right? IQ. But as you said, like the bigger thing is, if you haven't been practicing against it for a very long time, your super is out of touch with it. You know, who's gonna play the vert, who's gonna go where, who's droning for that entry downstairs, like what's the timing gonna be like? I think that's the bigger problem, because a meta is very controlled by what everyone is doing. Just because everyone's banning Bendikai doesn't mean that the strongest operators in the game is that people don't want to play against him.
Good impact.
And Nina gets a second kill, by the way. Faced like a 1 HP.
Wow.
Nina's in the bomb site.
Hang on a second. He's in
Gap
deep.
finding.
Yeah, and they've really found that gap. They have brought it right on open. CAG now forced to retake.
He's like
Nitro
trying to
Cell
die.
does not
Big
land.
boom.
Anaton
Oh, he dies.
gets shot out. Wall bang from Washoy before the C4 can go off. Fishlike on 1 HP.
down.
And now the last impact grenade has gone out as well. Doesn't matter, he's low. There's no way for CAG to finish him off. SCARZ with a quick rush have really set the pace here on this attacking half. And CAG are feeling a little bit rug pulled at the moment, forced to retake in a horrible position despite the HP advantage that they might hold against two of those players. They have such a numbers deficit. Fishlike finds one. Good finish off for Shurip onto Nina. Fishlike is low,
fire,
remember,
can't wait.
keep that in mind. But he doesn't have a lot of time, and Rek is still alive. Doesn't get the damage onto Fishlike that he needs. Shurip is getting toyed with at the moment, and the flashbang
Well
comes
played.
out. Somehow finds a first, but there is just no time. It'll be a free kill, or it'll just be winning the round on time. Indeed it is for SCARZ. So Rek thankfully stays alive, and with it, SCARZ confirm what was, from the get-go, a very explosive round.
And that's Nina getting 2 kills, right? Sitting on 3 total for the entirety of Lair. That's a round victory. 2 kills equals round because you get a full bomb site. Is this Sparky getting the mix to it? Tactical timeout from CAG by VARREL. He needs to make sure the boys now lock in 100%, because that is a way to lose the round immediately, letting Nina find that gap.
Yeah, I mean, they cannot afford to lose any more rounds now. 3-5 down on the second map for CAG after losing in overtime. 8-7 on Fortress, fumbling 3 match points. Now they are just 1 round away from not just match point, but series point to be knocked down into the lower bracket, Pengu. After CAG went flawless in the group stage, they are struggling against the 4th seed team in APAC North. SCARZ are dialing back the clock. They are looking better than ever. And they are ready to take a real fight to CAG by VARREL.
It's also a attack timeout, you know, a round before operator bans. You know, I know that the coach can talk for a little bit while you do it, but like, you'd ideally want to discuss everything in greater detail when you have the full picture, but CAG by VARREL, they cannot risk waiting any longer, because then you're talking, you know, match point. So it's right here, it's right now, they go back to basement. I'm not sure about the major changes here. Like, they got some more traps on the board, sure. But now the roam game's going to be more challenging, and SCARZ, they can go for a full clear top-down, do the verticality, go for a plant. They can go for gap finding. They can play the fast, they can play the slow. SCARZ have, genuinely speaking, been very impressive so far in this BO3.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ram gets into the mix, yeah.
Yeah, this is a real
They're gonna
deadly lineup for the attacking side. Going back to the same bomb site for CAG by VARREL, going back to the same problems. Now constantly wondering, is our bomb site vulnerable to a rush? And now if that means that they hunker more on site, Pengu, then they're going to have less presence on the roam. And if there's less presence on the roam, then SCARZ will be able to quickly get into vert positions and decimate everyone on site. Solid Snake could be perfect though. If Shurip gets the read here, he might get a freebie onto Rek.
Such an important moment
Oh,
here.
are you kidding me?
Oh, he chokes it! He walked into the corner of the wall, I think, because he
Yeah.
was moving, but nothing was
Stop
happening.
peeking.
Small mistake there.
That's a really, really rough kill for Shurip. He had all the info he needed for that to be a freebie for him.
Yeah.
Barely did any damage as
Complete freebie. He's catching Reg mid-vault probably. He can't even fight back for God's sake, but instead becomes the freebie himself. Impact goes out. Team is so desperately fighting back, but is forced to also run away, because if they lose one more defender, statistically, they have no chance of winning the round anymore. So they gotta just kind of try and win this one from a 4v5 position. without having much of a mini play. Like, there's no C4, there's no easy way to get back a kill. They have to go hunting for just that one member of SCARZ.
I feel like they have to do something creative here, something risky. They
They
have to do it
do.
together. Anderson and Chibisu at the top of these stairs want to try and make a play, but they are forced back. Nina, look at how patient he is as well. He's just waiting for CAG by VARREL to get aggressive to try and retake. It's been well read from him, but I can say the same for CAG as well. They decide not to overextend as of yet. Zaka is in a really bad position as well, but he finds one kill and he also gets the blind onto Fishlight. Great activation of the Dread Mine. Nets him a kill and keeps him alive, allows him to escape from Warehouse back deeper towards the bomb site.
That's the play they needed. Now they can even numbers. They can use the Goya Fires, buy the bomb site, the Toxic Babes, and the Finver nearsightedness. So now CAG, they can play in advantageous positions if they choose the fights in the right area on the map. SCARZ, they were going for a full clear, verticality, hard breaching, but look at this, they're a bit behind the curve now. Only just getting the hatch, only just getting the last bit of soft destruction. But they're so far away from the bomb site. The timer is going to be awfully low for them, especially if they haven't already cleared out the Goya canisters.
In SCAR's current form,
Which I don't think they can because there's no nades.
but I just don't count them out, even in such a deficit, even when there's still a trap and pocket for
starting
Anderton
to.
and one for Chibisu, because I've seen them conjure things out of thin air before. But you're right, the time is really ticking away.
One more
CAG by
smoke.
VARREL have put enough pressure on in the early to mid round that they have the best chance of winning. Now Anderton going all the way upstairs. He finds the flank onto Washo from up above, but a big couple of kills on the bomb site gives SCARZ a gap. Can Fishlight look for the
And no
plant? No,
time.
DD is there! And the plant is denied. CAG by VARREL, just by the skin of their teeth, find one more round. They close the distance yet again.
Oh man. You know, for SCARZ, if they just wanted to continue the plan A essentially, right? You take the map control, you walk down the staircase, and you end the round where they tried to, but with 30 seconds more on the clock, I think that could be a solid round for them. As we said, there was almost no plant denial there from CAG. They had the smoke grenade, sure. They didn't have any Goya Fires, we recognized at the end there. There was no C4 in play. That could have been a free plant. Do you go for a clash ban here? Yeah, you do. Perfect.
Good
big fan
move.
of that. That's the big fail save from CAG where they can bring it out. And I generally think that they've actually been avoiding playing the clash, except for that very first opening defense round, because they want to save it for later. Because it is such a stable pick here for CG and by Anderton. Now that's been read into. And the glass ban not in response has not been playing like at all here from SCARZ. They can play it, we know it, but it hasn't been their primary style of action so far.
They did run it in that first round. It didn't work out. I think he died. Oh no,
Yeah,
so it was the
the-
last one alive.
Very one-sided.
SCARZ looked for gaps and rushed the first two rounds. It didn't work at first, but funnily enough, it did work, and they tried it the second time on the basement instead. Now we go back to the bomb site that we saw in that very first round from CAG on the defensive side, and it's a top floor, and we didn't really get to see a lot of this round, really, Pengu, because SCARZ finished it so quickly just by rushing into the site, and their rush, unfortunately, not working for them. Now we get to see what their attack looks like in a more full sense. CAG also have to change their defense because, as you said, the clash got banned out. So what do? They bring the mirror for the first time in this game.
I didn't think that reinforcement would ruin it.
Good change, yeah. Trying to deny the walls. To be fair, hard destruction has not really been the main part of any of that SCARZ attacks so far. It's been about the gap find, about the kills, about the openings. And they have great ops for that this round as well. Let's see where they want to attack from. There's a bit of a sit-up there in ops room. Tashanka behind the Asami as well. I said Tashanka, but there's not Tashanka.
Yeah, true.
It looked like a Tashanka from the skin, but it wasn't. I guess it was the mute with the skin on?
I guess
I don't know what I'm witnessing here.
Bro's crashing out. I guess the question is there enough plant denial without the Tachenka? You've got smokes, you've got 2 nitro cells. You've also got 3 thorn traps in pocket plus 2 impact. There's a lot of tick damage here. Good control. That Grim is really
there
gonna
is
help out.
enough. If you have enough bodies alive for Smoke to just sit there and use the gadget, for Mirror to go for a C4 late round, not having their guns up, and you just kind of, you know, roam, peel back the layer, roam, peel back the layer. Look at the time. It's like slowly ticking away here. And if SCARZ can start speeding up, it will be enough now with just a smoke and a single C4. Oh, but that changes things.
Yeah, that is a rough
That's,
play to
Gypsy
lose.
is dead.
So much util in pocket dies with him as well. I tell you what, Washo's had some really impactful moments in this series, that's for sure. Shuri on the smoke cannot afford to die without an impact like we've seen from him a few times before. He cannot afford to make a mistake with the placement of his gas babes either. As here come the breaches on the bomb site, default plant will be available for Fish like. Zaka though, impact tricking, he'll only be able to do that once. The second one goes off. I don't think he's going to use his second impact for it. I think he should keep it in pocket in case he comes across Yukiz on that Blackbeard. One Keyber as well to work with, but a whole minute on the clock for SCARZ.
C4 prep there from Annie, just waiting for the sound cue. Then they got Demon with a backup. One more smoke in pocket now, but the kills are going out. C4, Zaka, they find 2 apiece.
Oh, but that's a good kill onto Zaka. Refragging. Anderton stands up, puts away his nitro cell, and finds the pick. There is a rat on the floor, but he gets traded back, and the round taken by CAG. They continue battling. They are digging deep, and they have brought us back to breakpoint.
Hold on. Again, just covering each other on the crosses. It's so well done. And that's with losing TP so early, losing those Razor Blooms as well for Intel, and a tactical time here from SCARZ, saying, okay guys, we lost the lead, now we reset, we go again.
And time for Leo to get in on the ears of his team, to get in on the action. It's 2 rounds in a row that CAG have won on that defensive side. SCARZ have only won a single attack penguin. It was that rush onto the basement. In the end, it actually even came down to a 1v1. So while SCARZ look okay in a lot of these defenses, they just tend to go the way of CAG by VARREL. And of course, taking the tactical timeout means that CAG will also get to do the same.
Yeah.
Sparky now
That's
can
big.
say, guys,
I'm sure Spark has a lot to say.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's confident that they can win this 7-5. 2 more rounds of defense in a row, just continue the round the world tour. Now, the thing is, for the first time, CAG are going to have to change bomb sites, right? Because they lost the second round, lab support, which means that they ended up just reattempting it. So they've only played top floor and basement. This is the first time they've had to play the tertiary site, and that means that Sparky has just had an entire tactical timeout to talk specifically about this bomb site.
Bomb located by
The
attack.
big question is, did they conjure up a one-strat, tactical timeout here for CAG with Sparky? It was a more like general thing, because ideally you just win it right here. You get bombs at reset, you go top floor, you can go basement, whatever. Later on, I guess it goes to duels. I mean, lose one round actually. Never mind. I'll take it back. But they get 2 attempts at least.
Yeah, well,
Let's
next round it'll
see.
be a choice, like win or like if they lose this, for example, they'll have a choice going back to it or going down to the basement.
Top. Yeah, exactly.
The top floor will still be locked for the rest
They
of
won't
this
get the
half.
full reset because they'll hit overtime.
Yeah, exactly. On the edge of
I mean,
my
everyone's
seat
in the
this
action
game.
now, right? Fury was there, 6-6 now. Nina found those 5 kills, still 10 deaths. Nina's actually died every single round. That's the
Oh, I hate games
only
like
player
that,
in
man.
the server.
It always gets in my... I think I hate
Yeah,
that more than having a donut. When you're just like... Even if I've got like a bunch of kills, I'm like, dude, why am I dying every damn round? Oh, reinforcing the hatch there from Chibisu.
Sensor on. Searching for
Okay.
Interesting. So they're expecting to eventually lose control of this top floor.
Or surrender control of top floor.
And then play laterally in the late round. That's rare. Don't see that a lot. It's a bit of a gamble. Means that those defenders cannot easily fall back if SCARZ take a lot of control.
Bit of a standoff. Nobody wants to make the first move. We see CG, they got the util in pocket to support it. Got the mirror window, got the reinforced walls. And those goddamn impacts as well going out every single round of the minute. They got 6 impacts in this one. Just waiting to be tossed on out. And because they reinforced the heads, like you said earlier, James, they could just fall back in the hallways and actually play the numbers, but instead they get caught off guard, injured from a faraway angle, reinforce the wall.
Wow.
Try and go for the revive, but now they've surrendered to be rid of control. This could leave a gap.
Yeah, it has left a gap, but it's the perfect operator they needed to keep alive. It's Shibisu, and now he has fallen even after the revive. The Solus is dead, and that means plant denial information is going to be so much lacking here for CAG. Fishlike has marched his way into our 6 room, and CAG have had no choice but to give up the entire of the top floor. With one player down and almost a minute to go, this is a very good look for SCARZ. That's a lot of damage. Onto Yukiz, exposed by the fire. He almost gets taken down straight away. Very low HP. But because that hatch is reinforced, Pengu, SCARZ don't have as many options.
I mean, they have a hard breach can openers, but it's in the wrong person downstairs, and Nate confirms himself. Luke is going down, and Anson swings back for his 2 kills. He's saving CAG.
Oh, and he is doing it again. He is their savior. It's Washoi now sneaking into the bomb site in a 1v3. DD Man waiting for him. DD Man to claim his life. Flex those muscles, Annington. The game is going the distance, and 3 in a row means that they are just 1 away from sending us to bank.
So Washoi actually had Harpy's destruction on the Grim the entirety of the round, but he was the last alive. He was the backstabber in security, so he couldn't get back upstairs in time to do any of that hard destruction, and it made the round extremely awkward for SCARZ. A small play like reinforcing hash in the middle of the round that almost ends up winning them the whole thing. Of course, Anderton going for a big swing, getting a kills. Yuki starting to an impact grenade and fire combination. That helps too. But when you don't have enough hard destruction, you can't get that hatch. It means that the players by the bomb side, DD Man, he feels very safe and isn't calling for backup, enabling the other players to be much more aggressive up above. One more round.
I kind of want OT though. I can't lie, dude. This is so much tighter than I expected, man. Even the first map. If this goes overtime, I genuinely don't know who takes it. But all I know is even if we get 2 maps of massive overtime, if SCARZ win this 2-0, I will be gobsmacked. That is just like, obviously with watching it play out before our very eyes, it's a bit more believable. But if you told me coming into today, SCARZ going to 2-0 CAG by VARREL, I would say, what the hell?
No, I'm with you there. I mean, the fact that they're staying this competitive all just bodes well for, you know, worst case scenario, lower bracket run. It is 4 very capable teams here. Kinotrope, D+, CAG by VARREL, and SCARZ. All fighting for 1 spot, by the way, at the EWC.
That's crazy. It's funny because I really felt like for a minute it was a battle of like, you know, CAG's probably going to get it, but maybe D+ or Kinotrope could get it. And like, hang on, SCARZ has entered the chat. They are making a big statement. But if CAG win this 4 rounds in a row to take it 7-5, that feels like a big statement. And with SCARZ dropping Nina very early on in this round, it will be a massive detriment to them. They need this to push OT. Otherwise, we go up to bank. CAG will have all the momentum.
I mean, the convo originally was going to be about Bang being the real decider, right? But SCARZ have made this so much closer than expected. They're not out of it just yet here and there, but 2 attackers lost a bit of health. They have lost Nina, who was playing a critical intel operator of Solid Snake. They're up against a lot of, you know, wall denial, trap denial here. Time stall, plant denial, crossfires. Like, how are they going to break this apart? I have no idea. Someone's going to have to find some crazy shots. Otherwise, I don't know how they can break this wall that is CAG by VARREL. Go to fire pump stall for 20 seconds.
Good defense set up. Still 3 gas babes as well. DD's been counting the seconds. He knows that it's about time. He can start tossing those out. He's actually taking a bit of damage. They have full info on his position. Thankfully, he's got a crossfire with Annie. SCARZ are just waiting. They still have a little bit of time to work with, but there hasn't been Vert to really flush out these players' positions. And so CAG are not feeling too much pressure whatsoever.
And they got the Finria mines hopefully watching the backstep here from Yukiz.
Oh,
so
nice lineup.
I think CAG, if they have good comms, everything should be aligned.
Now they start to go through deep. They find one kill, but he gets traded back up close with the Blackbeard. But it's the Dockerby's call that actually ends up finishing off DD Man. 3 players alive for both teams as Washoi low HP starts to force down that plan. And Rek's gone very big. Rek has gone nuclear. SCARZ digging even deeper. It seems like this mine will never end. And SCARZ have now pushed us all the way into overtime for a second time tonight.
How? Of all the rounds, how do they get that one? They're playing with a man down, boxed into a small room against the fire, the smoke, the crosses, the Fenrir, nearsightedness. Like, they have so many different ways of stopping SCARZ from pushing into the bomb site. And yet they do it. They stay on the attack, feeling very comfortable now, I imagine. Just entering OT, getting that parachute. Now we're playing effectively best of 3 in terms of rounds for this map of Lair. And SCARZ maybe causing upset. The dream is still very much alive. CAG, they go top floor. They got that same approach, right? They're bunkering down. Double planted now. Smoke to Shanka. Mirror. They got their own mind to protect those mirror windows. SCARZ, they just can't get baited here. They cannot say, guys, let's just go for a simple direct attack. Let's try and plant in the default location and all will be good. They have to read into this lineup and go, we have to go for like verticality downstairs. Or we have to go for gap finding. We're attacked from 5 different angles at the same point. If you do a direct attack, you're going to be faced, just like in the previous round, against a lot of different util. And statistically, they should not be winning that. Not twice in a row.
Yeah. That said, it feels like quite rarely do SCARZ go for direct attacks. I mean, remember they started this map by going for 2 back-to-back very, very fast-paced attacks, one of which worked, one of which didn't. But you're right, if they get a good read of the operators here from CAG, there's absolutely no universe where they should be waiting until the last 30 seconds of trying to execute into all this. Big question for me is Yukiz on the Deimos down below. He's got tracks onto 4 different operators. He can really dismantle these power positions. Noah's Army to protect VARREL against that verticality from down below. Instead, they're going to try and contest it themselves by making those holes, as Zaka has done.
Nice and slow here. We see the magnets. They see the setup. Not a ton of counter potential, though. Is he just in there?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Rek is just out of here. Good pick from Zaka. Capital going down is going to make it much harder to gain control of the mezzanine. However, there's still that Grim, which can fulfill that role. As Nina starts to make his way forward. He's woken up a little bit, still struggling. He's still died every single round and only got 5 kills, but at least he's well off that donut now. But if Nina finds a big 2K or 3K here, it feels like that's the only thing stopping SCARZ from just taking control, dominating.
It's very little hard destruction, so there's 2 Selma charges and Zaka's playing close in the reinforced wall with impacts and pocket. And to make it even worse here, SCARZ haven't even broken the exterior wall. So they're just playing close in the bomb site, by the doors, not worrying about any pressure. Every member of CT is watching the frontal push, knowing that the backstab is impossible. So SCARZ have skipped step number 1 of getting all the walls opened up, and now they're in a tough position because of it. And I don't think they're even going to go and rotate over and over and try and get it done. They're going to just walk up the staircase, play the bathroom windows, and try and play for kills.
Wow. Just look at how CAG keep on falling back. There's so much info onto their positions, and they just continue forfeiting control. They want to play on the late round win condition. Hang on a second. Zaka and Nina pass like ships in the night. Nina will go down for a 13th time in this game. Zaka has to fall back to expose in his position, now tracked by the Deimos down below. Yukiz cannot reposition ideally and go for those vertical picks. It would be far too hard. And now look at the clock. The timer is ticking down. Nitro Cell goes out. CAG still continuing to put that pressure on. Defuse in Fishlike's clutches, but DD Man is making lava all over the bomb site, going deep. Fishlike straight into the waiting arms of Anatson. Washoi has to go for broke, and he tries his best to do so. Yuka is the last one standing. There's absolutely no universe where it happens. SCARZ might have sent us to OT, but CAG now have a second opportunity to send us to a 3rd map.
They took the bait. Default plant didn't get enough hot destruction. They never opened the exterior wall. And that's why you see against Saka, who's played close on the reinforcement the entire time. He gets 2 kills. Impact tricks it, falls on back. While my discs are a huge problem. SCARZ, for one of the rare times here in this series where they did not have the correct read in the operator repick phase and did not have the right tools for the job. Now the sides will flip. SCARZ will also go top floor and play a very similar lineup. Traps, intel, and plant denial. And now CT by VARREL, they have just played a similar strat. They should know how to pick it apart.
That said, SCARZ were undefeated on this bomb site in the first half. Albeit, the second time they went to it, it was very close. Washoy got that 1v1 clutch with the Warden. Now CAG are in somewhat familiar territory, Pengu. Cast your mind back to Fortress. We found ourselves in this exact same position. CAG led in regulation, 6-5. SCARZ pushed us to overtime. Then CAG led in overtime, 7-6. And SCARZ pushed us into overtime and ended up winning the map. If the trend continues, then, I mean, CAG will fumble 6 match point opportunities in this game. And now look at that. I mean, such a narrow difference between whether or not the defense wins from a 5v4 or a 4v5 on this bomb site. However, for the attack, it means everything.
Okay. Okay. I assume he's destroying a kill barrier that I cannot see with my own eyes.
Or he could have been pre-firing.
That John Hole. Or that. It's very possible.
Don't question Anderson.
The opening pick. I'm not questioning. Just confused is all, you know? But as a keeper, yeah. This plays very far back. And he is sitting on 14 kills, and great job here, playing a bit of util, a bit of shields. He's doing a lot of different things in the server. It's been DD man mostly here and there. Actually, only him playing the Monty. And it makes sense because you're enabling and now on operators like your glass that can be the playmaker. They have 6 smoke grenades to support him as well. I like the use of fire here from Fishfly, just kind of slowing the round down rather. And stalling CAG out in the very first entry point.
Force him a good eat. He's going to get trapped in there. Keeper barrier tries to stop Anderson from being able to peek. However, he does quickly make short work of it. DD takes control of ops. Doesn't want to stand still for too long. Vulnerable to C4s. Though we know there are no nitro cells on the SCARZ side. Look at how much barbed wire they brought, though. They elected for barb on Yukas instead of impacts to deal with those shields. I think that tells you that SCARZ are really wary of these backstabs. With the number of traps they've brought, I don't think CAG will be able to cheese this round.
It's going to be challenging. That's for damn sure. All about the opening pick, though. If they can find it, they get hallway control, they get staircase control, now they can work the bomb side. It's a matter of time.
It's peeking.
These toxic babes are all being thrown out. But Andrew just pushed the hallway instead. He skipped the corner there. That's great. Off-pace play works out. Now CAG get a much higher chance of winning this round.
He's going up against a shotgun, though, and he doesn't have any smokes. He's peeking dry. C75 goes in. Washoy finds him. Where is the trade from CAG? They let him get away with it. He takes down the Glaz, and he gets away with his life. Now Chibisu thankfully doesn't die, but does take quite a bit of damage. Shurip has also fallen. Where has that happened? How has that been allowed to happen?
Time to swing.
On the bomb side now, Wreck is amongst the Fortress, but he gets flashbang. DD takes him down. 30 seconds and ticking away. As a plant denial still very much available here for Fishlight.
Just
DD
one
man
fire.
is low HP. He's going to start forcing it down, but if Fishlight can land any fire, DD man will be forced off, and so he is! A big swing for Fishlight, but now he's the last one standing. Can't revive Yukis, has to go for kills. Zaka hunts him down! And CAG send us to bank! The third map required. These 2 Japanese teams will continue brawling until one is sent down to the lower bracket.
Goes down to the fire. 1 tick, James. 1 single tick of fire, and DD with dead on the Monty. 1 gunfight at the very final moment. They're on the wall, and they go to a 15th round again. Not to be.
2 maps of OT for CAG by VARREL, and SCARZ tells you all that you need to know. This has been so much more than it was promised to be. The first seed versus the 4th seed in APAC North, sending us to a 3rd map. We'll be up for Bank in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere.
제가 처음 시즈를 만나게 된 건 중학교 1학년쯤에 유튜브에 올라온 2014 트레일러 그거를 딱 봤는데 이 게임이 되게 제 취향이랑 맞을 것 같은 거예요. 되게 전술적이고 막 CQB의 1인칭 FPS에 되게 매력적으로 느껴가지고 일단 베타 테스트도 신청해서 베타 테스트도 해봤고, 그때 중학교에 같이 게임을 하는 그 파티가 있었는데 거기서 이제 6-7명 모아가지고 이제 낮밤으로 계속 로테이션 돌려가면서 계속 했던 것 같아요. 그때는 이제 저도 경쟁심이 별로 없었고 해가지고, 근데 일단 랭크를 계속 돌리긴 했어요. 근데 이제 그러면서 제가 이제 경쟁심에 끌어오르면서 이제 제가 약간 어떻게 보자면 저만 엇나간 그렇게 된 거죠. 이게 대회가 있던 건 2015-16년에도 그 패드 대회가 있어가지고 알고는 있었는데, 이제 관심을 가지기 시작하게 된 건 파리 메이저에 진출한 멘티스 FPS를 딱 봤을 때 한국에서도 프로가 가능하구나, 해외 나가서 활약하는 게 좀 멋지다를 느끼면서 이제 프로 플레이어도 염두에 두게 된 것 같아요. 그때부터. 그때 페이커도 알고 있고 막 유명한 e스포츠 선수들 되게 많이 알고 있었는데 이게 되게 남의 얘기 같고 그렇게 느껴졌는데, 이게 제가 하는 게임에서 그 멘티스 FPS 같이 그런 팀이 나오니까 확실히 좀 와닿은 게 있는 것 같아요. 가장 인상 깊었던 팀은 예전에 퓨리아 그 5명이 제일 인상 깊었던 것 같아요. 제일 잘하는 팀이라고도 생각하고, 한 2017년부터 이제 제가 랭크를 진짜 열심히 하던 시절인데, 그때 상위권에 있다 보니까 지금 선수하고 있는 예전에 노라랭고나 멘티스 FPS 선수들을 실제로 매칭이 된 적이 있어가지고, 그래서 계속 매칭이 되다 보니까 서로 조금씩 친해진 계기도 됐고, 전 노라랭고의 워카라는 선수랑도 꽤 친해졌고, 멘티스 FPS의 MB 테일러랑도 이제 좀씩 친분이 생기면서 이제 그쪽이랑 같이 게임도 하고 일본, 한국 왔다 갔다 하면서 계속 같이 했던 것 같아요. 그러다가 이제 2019년 말쯤에 이제 클라우드9에서 제이가 들어오게 돼서 시작된 것 같아요. 평소와 같이 그냥 집에서 일어나가지고 게임하려고 딱 켰는데 트위터 DM으로 와 있었던 거예요. 이게 뭐지 하면서 열어봤는데 오퍼에 관련되었던 거였고, 되게 처음에는 잘 믿기지 않았는데 이게 대화를 하다 보니까 점점 실감하게 된 것 같아요. 이제 같이 게임하고 있던 가장 친한 친구한테 먼저 보여줬고, 그 다음에 이제 진지하게 해야 될지 말아야 될지를 이제 부모님한테 상의를 하면서 이제 연락을 했었어요. 그 제안을 받고 나서 이제 일본 워킹홀리데이 가가지고 이제 일본어도 배우고 그냥 일반적인 직장을 얻어가지고 살 예정이었는데, 근데 이게 아무리 생각해도 제 생각엔 별로 재미가 없을 것 같은 거예요. 그래가지고 이 오퍼가 왔을 때 그냥 이쪽이 무조건 더 재밌고 인생이 바뀌겠다 해가지고 바로 입단을 선택한 것 같아요. 순서대로 말하자면 일단 제일 첫 번째는 워카, 이제 같이 게임 해주면서 같이 실력도 같이 늘고 저한테 많이 알려주기도 하고, 이제 특히 제가 일본어를 하게 된 계기가 그 친구들이랑 같이 게임을 하면서 이제 일본어를 배우게 된 거기 때문에, 그게 지금 일하는 데도 쓰이고 있고 게임하면서 편하기도 하고 일본 갔을 때 편하기도 하고, 되게 단순히 게임하면서 얻은 것 치고는 꽤 좋은 영향인 것 같아요, 저한테. 그래서 워크한테 일단 고맙고, 워크상 2018年覚えてますか？あの時は日本語やCG のいろいろ教えてくれて本当にありがとうございました。
Welcome back to APL Finals. CAG will get us to the third map, and the school session is in. Welcome on in. It's school with Xenox. One of the intriguing rounds that I wanted to touch on was going to be round number 11, boys, who you can't really see them right now, but
we're supporting you.
They're supporting me. So school is in. So this round in particular, bunks briefing, top floor hold, obviously by CAG. Now, CAG have actually played this a little bit differently than what you would typically see, which is usually a 4-1 split, 4 on the top floor of R6 and then 1 down below. They've actually opted for like a 3-2 split, and then they've also changed it up, reinforcing hatches, making sure that SCARZ want to get this top floor control, which you would typically see, and they start well. SCARZ get the opening kill onto Chibisu. Let's move it forward a little bit though. So where does things change in this particular round? Now, mind you, it's 5-5 at this point. So it's a pretty big round here in round 11. It's actually James's favorite point in Siege, the break point, if you will, round 11, 5-5. So you see here, right here, Anaton, let me just circle that in. There you go. Bottom left. That's Anaton, right? So he comes back Skybridge. He wants to play green stairs. Green stairs is usually where the attack wants to be to get bunks briefing control and then go for that direct hit into sight. So he's blocking that off. He's also got help from Sharif as well. He's just over in the corridor, so making sure no one's going to be, of course, taking this space. So green space taken by CAG. SCARZ, well, what do they get? Well, they get top floor. Top floor's nice, but it's not where the site is. It doesn't mean much at this point. Now, at this point, SCARZ, 50 seconds left, and wondering, well, hang on, we need to get to the site. How do we get there? Hatches reinforced. That's going to take time. There's no X-Kairos, all of these things. Anaton comes back up. Impact, blow up the fire pipe, and from here you can see where the plan in place has gone right for CAG. So they've gone and got still 1 bunks, green stairs, double stack with Anaton and Sharif, and they're re-engaging SCARZ, who at this point are primarily focused with trying to get back down to that first floor. Now I'm gonna note 3 players here. So I got my little pen. So number 1 is going to be Rec. Number 2 is going to be
there is a number function, Jake. But
and
we'll
number
teach you that one later.
Well,
Sorry.
I mean, you can just write it down. It doesn't matter, right? It's my school. I can do what I want. So those 3 players are the 3 players that are still on the top floor. Earlier, Washoy actually made the usual play. He went security, try and get some first floor presence. And watch what happens here. Re-ingress by CAG. And you're going to notice 1, 2, and 3 are going to go down pretty quickly over the next few seconds, of which I actually don't know how many seconds it will be, but it's largely quick. And what this is, it's activity on the defense by CAG and playing in a non-default sort of way. As you can see, all 3 are gone. Only Washoy left. Nina also decided to vacate, but he was not really in the server anyway this series. And at this point, it's now a 4v1. So really, really good strategy from CAG. Although, funnily enough, guys, you actually said it was quite janky because it's not the usual default setup that you would typically see on a bunks briefing site, but it did get CAG the round. That is the site in this APL region that attackers tend to do quite well on, and ultimately CAG went on and won the map.
Oh, I tell
he's
you
actually
what.
done pretty well
I
there.
tell you what. He is bloody. Sign. Don't forget, sign.
Sorry. Hang on. I need my pen.
Yep. He's coming back.
He's
coming
forgotten
back.
the biggest moment.
Yep.
Just make sure I don't actually touch the
Oh,
lens there.
unbelievable, Jake. Mr.
Well done,
Venditti. That's unbelievable from you. He can do it all. He's an all-round cricketer.
Oh, I
he
can't-
can bat, he can bowl, he can field.
I can't 1v1 though.
No, you
We're working
cannot
on it.
1v1, but we are getting there. But look, all jokes aside, CAG definitely had a couple of little moments in that map that completely turned the tides, guys. And I think that, unfortunately for SCARZ, no matter how close they were, they're going to feel gutted by that loss.
Yeah, I think the most disappointing takeaway from their perspective is that second half. They got 4 opening kills. They were dominant in that regard. They failed to convert 3 of those occasions, which proved really, really costly in the context of this series. And again, you flip a couple of those results and the series could well be over at this point. So credit to SCARZ. They were far more competitive on this map than certainly we gave them credit for. At least I did. Genuinely thought this was, run with 7-2, 7-3. CAG will rebound. They'll look really strong. And whilst they did have ultimately really good moments, hence they won the map, it wasn't as dominant as expected. And Bank now for the third map is it kind of reopens, and it's honestly a bit of a Pandora's box. I don't really know what to expect.
It is. And you know what? It's our first 3 mapper, which also means we could be on for a kill record. We've said this both nights of the APL finals, but finally we are getting close. Chibisu is getting nearer and nearer to being able to top the online record of 55 kills. He is 21 kills away. Jake, you struggled with that graphic a little, did you?
I'm just wondering, that full event there for Hertz and KZ, what event was that?
You already know.
Do you? I think you guys might have been there. I don't know. But alas, Chibisu
You know we've jinxed
is-
it now, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. He's
gonna drop-
Absolutely.
he'll drop
Chibisu's going to bot
3
out.
kills on
Yeah,
that.
correct. He's going to bot out. But maybe these players that are starting to lack, the ones we were talking about, Jake, might start to take it. Sorry, not really a thing. I don't know why I keep using it. They are slowly and surely getting themselves into a position. Maybe we start to see the lower end push up.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bank's going to be quite intriguing because for both of these two teams, it's not a map that's really in their forte. It's not like a top 3 preference or anything. So, and considering what we've seen on both of the opening 2 maps of both Fortress and Lara, 7-8 and 8-6, I feel like we're almost surely destined for something similar on Bank. And which way it actually goes, I mean, who knows at this point. I think once you get to the 3rd map, and clearly you were impressed with SCARZ on Lair, even though they didn't win it, so was I. I was impressed that they were able to win Fortress as well, considering CAG played it. So, I mean, this is a difficult one to call, difficult one to split, but it goes with the mantra of what we said. For APAC North, the 4 teams that we have, there's no guarantee.
It is hard to look past CAG's record, right? So
Naturally.
the 2 matches that they've played on this map and won over the last 3 months, Kindertrope 7-5, D plus Kia 7-1. Like, those are 2 other top 4 teams. I would take those results pretty seriously. Again, though, it is against SCARZ, and that's why a lot of the precedent doesn't really hold up in this particular head-to-head. 2 strong teams from Japan, so much history, and SCARZ have clearly upped their game today. I think we're seeing a much better SCARZ comparatively to what we saw in best of 1 form, and that's what's making this last map quite challenging to predict.
SCARZ did beat Can You Be My Enemy 7-2, and
Similar teams. Can you beat my enemy and CAG? I would put them pretty much on the same realm at that point. But I think what it is doing is it's really solidifying the conversation of APAC North and where these teams are now sitting. There isn't one team that stands above the rest like you see with your Weibo, like you see kind of with your Chiefs and your Enterprise in OS. There is actually quite a clear divide between those regions and where we are with APAC North now. Moving into this final map, Jake, I mean, this one now sets it sets the scene.
it does, but I'm going to throw it straight back to you.
Oh, please.
Is
I
it a
love
good
this.
or a bad thing? That's the dilemma with kind of the conversation you're bringing up, because you can make an argument for both sides.
Yeah.
That maybe it's a good thing that Asia has the likes of Weibo, OS with Chiefs and Enterprise, and what those teams can do internationally. Lo and behold, what's APAC North done internationally?
Well, you know, they kind of made a grand final.
Of what?
Well, one of the greatest events of all time. Come on, Jake. Switch on, mate.
Start with an R?
Yeah, it does.
Ends with an E-load?
Well, it does. I don't know how you... Jeez, how are you that quick? You don't miss, do you? You are just as sharp as a bloody tack. Maybe as sharp as a bowling ball. I think it's time for us to get underway with our third map. The first 3-mapper we have in the APL finals. It's kind of crazy to be saying that, but this has set the scene. This is an unbelievable opportunity. SCARZ are going in competitive on map 1, competitive on map 2. Who knows what to expect on map 3?
That's right. We've had 29 out of a possible 30 rounds of Siege so far in the first 2 maps, and now we're deep into the third. There is a chance for SCARZ to have a huge upset, probably the biggest upset we've seen in the APL for quite some time, after they barely scraped into stage finals after a 7-0 on their final play day against Trippy and a big win the play day prior against FearX. They just made it into the top 4 and immediately come up against an undefeated CAG, and then steal a map off them in the BO3. Can they steal the series, though? We'll have to find out. CAG, they haven't played Bank recently. It's their lowest preference map at the moment, but back in kickoff, they did 7-1 D+ on this map, and they played against Kinotrope as well, beat them. So CAG are at home here on Bank.
Also, side note, can we just give a round of applause here for Jake? You know, Jake's path to go pro, playing 1v1s against pro players now, doing telestrator segments as well. What's happened to this man? That's it. That's an unchallenged work ethic right there. He's putting in the hours, okay, in the server, outside the server. Great job, my man. Never seen this guy be so serious before.
Love it.
Just want to get it out there.
Attackers have located a bomb.
But yeah, I think SCARZ, in my mind, right? I'm not like a stats guy. I don't look at the numbers. That's not, I've never really done that. I'm a feeling kind of guy. Sometimes I'm wrong about those feelings. Sometimes I'm right. This is how it is. SCARZ have always been, in my mind, a super dominant map team on Bank. Because when we cast, I think it was last year actually, Kinotrope took SCARZ to Bank, And I was like, what are they doing? SCARZ, they terrorize teams here. I know this is CAG by VARREL, they're a formidable foe, but I would say that I would actually back SCARZ on bank. I would. So I think that SCARZ will cause the upset. I think they're in the most prime position to take this in a 2-1 fashion, and I think Nina's been low-key missing most of the series. And if Nina shows up here on prime territory, it's over.
Yeah. Well, if we look over the last year, SCARZ are 6-3, 6 wins, 3 losses on this map. And they're particularly good on defense, which is quite rare these days. They win 58% of their defense rounds. Of course, they did smash Can You Be My Enemy on this map not too long ago, as was mentioned on the desk, but not a very good barometer of a level of team when you're going up against someone like CAG, comparing the top and bottom teams from APAC North. SCARZ do find themselves on defense to start, which is statistically where they want to be. Funnily enough, it's not typically where you'd want to be on bank. It tends to skew attacker-sided, but they will be going up against Monty with Anaton. Going for the double hard breach instead to protect some of those Kanto walls. A ranged hard breach not going to be a factor. CAG have a lot of execute heavy ups here.
Yeah, they do, and they love that. Little step 1, step 2, step 3 kind of action. But before you can do that, you gotta do that roam clear, get the map control, peel back the layers, Fishlight falls down the hatch, will tank that 40 damage from the Dokkaebi phone call exploding. But look at the timer. This is pretty decent from SCARZ. They're stalling for a fair bit of time. Now the server hatch, I just noticed, is actually soft, so they can pop that immediately and start attacking server. So Washoy is gonna be in a bit of trouble. It's gonna be kind of all eyes on him if CG were to go for a default server attack, because Washoy is playing on the server stairs with the smoke operator. Now he's got 3 toxic players in pocket with 60 seconds to go. If he can min-max his individual position and stall for 30 seconds, that can literally win SCARZ the round, or at the very least, set them up for success.
Washoy has been a very impactful player today. He's in the most important position right now. Anaton wants to take the gunfight and does so! Beautiful work. He already pre-aims and just goes for a pre-fire with the pistol, the shield covering most of his body so that he would win the gunfight if Washoy had the shotgun out. I don't know how Anaton didn't see the Valkyrie camera that was right in front of him. Oh my god, Nina, are you kidding me?
Oh,
Nina!
No.
What is happening to the best player on APAC North? He farmed in the group stage. He misses his C4, immediately gives up his life. That is a devastating mistake from Nina on SCARZ. And now they are forced to retake. 3v3. They've got the numbers to make it happen, but going up against a Monty, it ain't easy. And Shuri could be anywhere. DD Man has it locked down before he gets traded back. Yuki's on the floor. It's Wreck at a 1v2. Firstly, going up against the Monty of Anaton. It's just not going to happen. This has been a rough start for SCARZ. They had smokes. Oh, he actually might get... No, not going to get any. Very close, though. Insane that they even managed to get it with a plan down for CAG. After we saw all of the smokes that were available, after we saw the Nitro Cell come out, I thought SCARZ had it dead to rights.
The very small things, right? If you stall with the smoke canisters a bit longer on server stairs, have a guy hiding in the corner beneath him, or if you just have that C4 land, like, you generally win that round if you're SCARZ. That was CAG having to speed up the pace of the round because they were forced to, not because they wanted it. And also, small side note here, Valkyrie Impacts was being played in that round. Imagine that Nina C4, who can afford to mess it up. Not that you should, but you can afford to. And then you have a backup C4 as well. But no, they had Valkyrie Impacts, which started 1 in pocket the entire round. It's an awful look. Tough round start there for SCARZ. Now they go top 4 instead. Big switch up. Get a DMR 2 bar on the action. Get actually Reg hiding right now on the Clash. Hiding that particular power up. Operator bands, I haven't really talked about it. I haven't really seen them actually. Double ranged Heartbeat band with the ban and the Ace, enabling his top 4 bombs to be much higher in success rate. And CAG by VARREL banning out the Kaid and the Mira. That's actually very smart because they're both making, basement weaker by getting the Kaid that can close the hatches, and then Mira that's commonly played on the other bomb sites actually. So it's almost like banning an Asami where, like, Asami's playing every single bomb site. By removing it, you make everything weaker. They've done a similar thing here with 2 separate operators.
Loading new mag.
We get to see the Clash played by Wreck. Kali actually great counter to the Clash. You don't have to expend any utility, just shots from the sniper rifle to knock that shield back. Well timed, you could get a lot of damage on the wreck if someone is already pre-aiming at his feet when that Kali blast goes onto him.
Nice and quiet in the server for now, before it gets too chaotic. The thing about Bank is that the pace is very different from Fortress and Lair. We don't often see a lot of early action. It's gonna be a bit like what we see right here.
Nice.
First 60 seconds,
Oh, this is
attackers on repels, they're droning, they're checking. They're calling the Clash here. Gonna take a bit of damage, actually.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
The tick damage is really valuable though against the Clash, especially because Shurib's on the Kali. You get a bit of tick damage from the Dokkaebi, and then you get a little bit more and a little bit more from people shooting the feet after the Kali knocks the shield back. But he hasn't decided to do that as of yet. And the Blackbeard is in. Anderson trying to bank the nade off, and I think it does indeed land onto Washoy, not without SCARZ finding a few kills of their own. I think Yuki's aggressive inside stock has fallen. CAG have made some headway, but it's still very, very awkward.
It's hard to get a plant down. K's also on the ground. Maybe I could try and revive here with Drake. Yeah, he's going to run over with the Clash Shield, revive his teammates with Yukis, and get numbers advantage in the 4 versus 3. Now, Rick has to do some of the heavy lifting. He can lock down one particular hallway and get a little bit of info to help his teammates about where that push is coming from.
Good angle fish like. Surely he wins this fight. Never mind. Zaka gets inactive.
No.
Low HP, but it doesn't matter. And Chibisu's taking out Yukis. So now it is a 3v2 for CAG. Nina's in a great position. He's the Warden, and yet he gets flashed.
Oh,
Another
boy.
critical mistake, but he also gets stunned by the air jab. It's wreck now. Ooh. Little bit of damage onto Annie, but Chibisu trades him back. CAG, a very good attack. Using that Blackbeard perfectly, Anaton knew exactly when to make his move and when not to overextend.
It feels a little bit like SCARZ are overthinking these rounds and making it a little bit too complicated. Also a lot of solo gunfights being taken in that 4 versus 3, not a ton of crossfires. Reg on the Clash, last alive is never a good look because, as I said, he could help his teammates. Instead, he doesn't help anybody. And on that basic bombs that we saw, missed C4s, missed lack of utility, etc. I will say, if SCARZ can get on the attack inside, they're going to be flying. They just got to get 2 rounds here in defense, or 3 in a perfect world, to get a big enough of a lead or equalization that they can't just like lose 1 round and then it's over. So they will call a very early technical timeout because they know too, they got to get just that 2 or 3 rounds and they'll be completely fine.
I'd like to agree with you. It's funny though, like I said before, looking at the stats, they actually do have a 58% win rate on attack in the last year. Only a 48%, sorry, 48 on defense, 58 on attack, which is not at all what you would expect, right? This is very much a defense, sorry, attacker-favored map. You'd think that their attack win rate would be better than their defense. In the last 6 months, okay, yeah, there must have been some skewed results. I'm looking at just the last 6 months now, and their attacker win rate's more like 60, and their defense is more like 55. So no, maybe you are right. Maybe we would expect SCARZ to look a lot better in the second half. But time will tell. I think it's still a good shout, making that tactical timeout call really early, guaranteeing that you win this round. You need to get at least 1 under your belt. You can't go downstairs twice, upstairs once, and not have any success. And remember as well, after this round, they're going to get those operator bans, but so will CAG.
5 seconds left.
Just seeing a lot of unforced errors from SCARZ at the moment, which I think is the heartbreaking part of it. They played so well today. You got to wonder what would happen if Nina played like the #1 player in the league that we know he could be from his performance in group stage. I've seen too many rounds in this series where he's sadly just like completely dropped out, been absent like that. Missed Nitro Cell and then immediately dying. That is really shocking to see from such a talented player. I wonder what's happened. The nerves seem to have gotten to him. He was 006 on Lair as well. Didn't get a kill for 6 rounds. Died every single round.
Now, one thing is the first one, right? Exhaustion, maybe going from best of 1s into a deep best of 3 series. CT by VARREL a bit more experienced when it comes to international play and longer series, etc. Higher stakes matches. But from the individualism of Nina, that's a different question. Not sure what the issue is here, but it has been a bit of a struggle today. Now, after SCARZ having called attack timeout, they double down here in the E2 game, right? They get both the Shanka, the smoke in the action, so that they can play one of them, the smoke on the server stairs, and just play their life away. Then they have the Shankas back on Pantanal later on, not having to rely upon just the C4s, which is super smart here because there's a Thatcher in play from DD. So it feels like SCARZ have gone back to their good ways of kind of predicting what CAG wants to do and going for a counter play before it even happens. Now, timer, we're looking at it. 1 minute 30 seconds, full map control now for CAG, but they're still missing to clear out the server staircase. Last time Anderson did it in like 5 seconds, super smooth, super clean. They would need to do it again to have a lot of time in their pocket to comfortably progress the round. There's only one touch away from Ashari though, so they're already ahead of the curve from before.
Oh, he's fallen.
Okay,
wow.
run away.
He's managed to fall back successfully.
They EMP'd the smoke, so he couldn't pop it.
Ah, that's very nice. I don't understand how Washo managed to get out there. The hatch was open. Yukiz is left all alone.
Staying?
He's got 2 impacts, but that's all he's got. I didn't think he saw an avenue out. He's now being detected by the Grimm's bees. And this should be a free kill for CAG by VARREL.
Every second matters though. 45, 44. Smoke off, drop down, and go for a flash play.
Oh, he's stuck in deep though. He's managed to take down Anderson. Chibisu is able to trade it back, but that is a big kill, and now no more blitz to go for that turtle plant.
Now we got the Shanga. That second line of defense, right? That's the counter. You can't EMP this one, guys. The fire will reign supreme. There's no real counterplay here. DMR as well hits the shot. K's caught on the ground. 20 seconds to go.
So they have to go for a shallow plant, but going deep, it's Shurib. He has a big impact when he needs to. Gets traded back. It's now 1v1.
1v1.
Nina. This is where he can redeem himself. But Chibisu has been fragging like crazy. 5-1 so far. Got 22 kills earlier today on Fortress. Just needs one right now. It's up to Nina to show his mettle, to show that he can play well under pressure in this 1v1 on the retake. Taps the defuse once. Chibisu slowly peeks. Nina halfway through, but a quick swing from Chibisu. And CAG mount yet another attack round win. SCARZ have taken their tactical fire out and they've got nothing for it.
They're falling apart. It's another missed C4 and another missed opportunity. The individualism, the plays, the teamwork, the coordination of SCARZ, it's getting worse and worse at every single round. That is, we're getting 2 opening picks, right? Anderson and Blitz removed. DD and Thatcher right after, shot down by a DMR. Tashanga fire, denying the default plant locations. C4 being tossed out, they're missing. And then they get flooded on the bomb site and they lose all their gunfights. That was a round the SCARZ definitely should have won. And now, oh boy, they've done it. They've done it again. They have banned the Grim. Last time they banned Grim, we saw Monty every single round after on Fortress. Now they've banned the Grim, and before we saw the match replays, I saw Anyton lock in that exact same operator hovering the Monty.
That's wild from SCARZ. Look, I can't deny the Grim is good, but the Grim, it helps you get kills, but it doesn't have the same magic that a Monty has. And there is no substitute for a Monty. Look, if you can't make a Grim work, there are other operators you can bring to have a similar effect, whether it's Ying or Capital or flashbangs to create that space that you're getting with the Grim. Nothing else does Monty quite like Monty. Even the other shields, they do not hold a candle to how potent he is. To Anderson's credit though, he's doing the tour de shields in this game. First round Penguin, he played Monty. Second round Blackbeard. Third round Blitz. Back to Monty. Now, what do you do when you're SCARZ when your opponent doesn't just crutch on one shield but can play all of them?
You know, my favorite saying is making a return now. It's not easy when it's hard. That's where we're at right now, if you're SCARZ. It is simply just not easy when it is hard. And it's only gonna get harder from here on out because look at this lineup. They got power-ups, the sniper of Kali. One of the few bombs is actually where Kali is not a troll pick. Well, troll is a bit exaggerated. I still think Kali's
the
actually
goat,
a
man.
sleep operator for soft destructions. Okay, that's too far.
The
maybe,
SMG is really good, the secondary. I think it's one of the best SMGs, like secondary SMGs. And then the main rifle, like, it's not the best, but it's all right. And then, yeah, you've got the 4 gadgets, which are explosives for clearing util, but also good against Mirror as well. People forget that.
Kaboom. That phone call sound, man. Explosion downstairs. Heart destruction, flourish drones. What is happening here, man? SCARZ are not willing to fight back right now, and I get it. How do you fight back against this current attack? It's either long angles, which you're unfavorable in. It's a shield that you can't destroy. It's Yin Candelas, Dokkaebi calls. They're looking to get active with Nina playing a play downstairs with Solus, but right now Solus is on the wrong side of the lobby, or the downstairs. He's in lobby, looking for the repels.
He's gonna fall back.
I think they know about it.
Yeah, they have a feeling. There's a player in Electrical who's just watching. It's Zaka. He's waiting for the re-peek. Look how much ground they're giving those flankers. Oh no, the timing could not be worse!
Oh my
Zaka
god.
has just missed it!
Oh my god, he's missed it!
Nina has just walked on past. However, the SCARZ, they've fallen so many players on the bomb side, so it might not matter. Nina has been let to slip through. It's now a 2v4 for SCARZ. I cannot believe that. How laughable is that from Zaka? The most unlucky I've ever seen. But Nina, unfortunately, is not having the best game of his life. Now he's in a 1v4, and they know exactly where he is. He's being stared at by Anaton on the Muncie, and he is being shot from the window repel. He will take the fight with the player on the window, and Anaton will hunt him down. 4 rounds straight for CAG on the attacking side, and they show no signs of slowing down.
4 rounds straight. SCARZ can still get there 2 rounds perhaps, but it's not looking very likely. This has been a bloodbath of a match here on Bank. And CAG, it's every step of the way. It's the right operators, it's the executes, the open and kill engagements, it's flooding the bomb side, it's stopping the utility. Like, they're just not missing right now. And I'm still kind of at the point in my mind where, is this just a matter of exhaustion? Playing 7-8-8-6? Entering a 3rd map, because SCARZ, they're not fighting back even like 50% of what they were on Fortress. It's a different look for them, and of course every map plays out differently, but historically this has been a very comfortable playing ground for SCARZ.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's just to do with the flow of the series so far, where SCARZ really put so much energy into Fortress, eventually fell off on Lair. And now they've just run out of steam, and CAG have really read into them. If you look at how Lair ended Pengu, 5 of the last 6 rounds in that map were won by CAG. Like, they very much had the momentum. Which means if you look back over the last 10 rounds of Siege we played in this series, SCARZ have only won a single round. At what point does that tilt start to set in? At what point do you start to believe? You know that feeling when you're playing a game and you just cannot believe that you're going to win it? You cannot believe, you cannot have optimism. You just can't seem to conjure it. That mental warfare, that weight that hangs on you when you just cannot get a kill, you just cannot get around, when nothing seems to be going right, where you keep getting unlucky. Every time you die, it feels like you're getting timed. It's got to be where SCARZ are at right now.
And if one individual has a pop-off moment, right, and they start inspiring the others, like, guys, it's winnable, look what I just did, you can do it too. That kind of momentum shift, that can change everything. But there's no one that's, like, outstandingly good right now for SCARZ. They're struggling as a team, every single member. I do think that all they need is that one big moment, but it has not happened. CAG just choking them out, not giving them anything for free.
It's not likely to happen when you're playing against a
Annie.
Monty.
Again, you could have banned it, but they banned the Grim, James.
Bit of a troll. A Fishlike is in a world of pain. He's used 3 gas babes a minute 20 into the round. Very fast here from Shurip as well. Oh, hello, good read. He hears the vault over from Fishlike, takes him down immediately. 5v4 now, CAG. Opening kill, attacking side, Monty's still up. SCARZ are looking desperate. Washo wants to try and make a play, but they know exactly where he is, and Nina gets punished. It has been the worst day of Siege I've seen out of Nina in the longest time. SCARZ capitulate right when it seems like they've done everything right.
Now they're waiting. Again, they're not looking to make a play, not going for a push. I just hear the Monty creeping on up. There it is. And he gets the intel. Yuki's fall back. Washoi dies. One by one, they will fall. And one by one, CT get closer to their fifth round.
Man, at this point, you just got to start calling the GG. It's flawless.
Jesus.
A fifth in a row on Bank. And for SCARZ, it feels like any sense of self they used to have on Fortress has evaporated. CAG have taken control. They have materialized throughout this series. While we saw them bleed at the start, they just have not shown any chinks in their armor, any weaknesses whatsoever in the last 10 rounds. It feels like almost a formality at this point.
Rex Sun and then something else.
Toyona?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Don't know what that means.
Bomb located by attackers.
I mean, I can't believe that we had to go through a 7-8-8-6 game to just have what very well could become a 7-0 Bank. There's all the hype, there's the build-up, there's the storyline, there's SCARZ causing the upset potential, and then there's this. The map that we all thought was going to decide it in favor of SCARZ has turned against them. Now, it is a Attacker favorite, and I do think the SCARZ have a much better chance here when they go on side swap. But if you go down 0-6, doesn't matter how good your attacks are, it's one clutch from CAG and it's over. So they need that 2-round defense. Now the best they can do is get a single or one.
I feel like CAG are in their heads right now. They can do no wrong. What do SCARZ do now? In the basement they go, and they've got quite a bit of a roam. They've got Yuki's and Tellers. He's got a pre-placed C4, and he's on top of a mute jammer, so he won't be able to be tracked by the Dockerbee. Might be droned in a minute. Straight into the mute jammer. The drone is for CAG. It's got a read. SCARZ are playing so patiently. Oh, sorry, the CAG are playing so patiently. They're not really rushing this whatsoever.
In the lobby. The nuke gadget changes, you see it on the bottom left here. Shuri's gadget will only drain when the camera is actively watching him. So he can stay here for as long as you would like to. And he hears the drop there from the elevator hatch. Might hear the players approaching open area here. Cadilla's going out, phone call ringing. This might just be SCARZ completely surrendering the roam control because they've all but one left. Now they've all left actually. Nina also dropped the open area hatch. If you drop down this hatchery, you cannot get back up, so it's a one-way ticket. It's a big decision, but he's going to go for it. Off-base play here by CAG.
There is such a freebie here. They know exactly where he is. He's going to go deep. It's going to be the Echo to go down. He's waiting for his chance. He almost goes for two, but Rek will trade him on back. I think he must have got the read, but not soon enough to save Fishlike's life. Now Rek decides it's time to go back upstairs. He goes all the way up and straight into Zaka's waiting arms. SCARZ now just 3 players left alive, all of which on the bomb site. And Anaton sets his sights on blue stairs. Washoi isolated on an island, left all alone. And Anaton wants to take the fight to him.
No smokes, and as you said, no help. Agent 11 only has 17 bullets, and there's going to be 2 attackers coming for him, and they need to get through him. Because taking down Washoi means he gets bomb site control.
Oh, it's damage, and it's knocked back in the double! Swing the kill! It's Yuki's in the 1v4. He has been hunted down and put to rest. It is flawless. 2 maps of overtime, only to 6-0 on the 3rd map. CAG dominate the half. We had such high hopes for this series. After that first map went the distance, 15 rounds. We thought, SCARZ, if you're the first ones that can take a map off of CAG, can you maybe take a series off them? And then the second map, we thought just maybe there's a chance that SCARZ can come back again. They pushed overtime for a second time. And come map 3, it's been such a disappointment.
I agree.
I feel so validated when you agree with me.
No, there isn't much more to say, man. It's been disappointing. It's been... I would love to build up the comeback story, right? SCARZ down 0-6, they're going to the attack inside. They're gonna do it, James. They're gonna do it, but look at how these ones have played out, like the small nitty-gritty details. It hasn't even been close. One thing is to lose 0-6. Another way is to get flawless, like 4 of the rounds. Like, look at this. The Shurb is dead, but like, it's basically a flawless round. It doesn't matter.
Well, if there's any way to do it.
Loved the mini play last round. There you go.
Oh, the nuke drop. I love it. It's just so beautiful when you catch an Echo with his pants down on his drone. Especially because he couldn't knife it.
And the way they do it, right, it's like you're rushing into a bomb site where all 5 enemies are on the basement floor. Like, there should never really be a gap there, but you found the perfect timing for it, because if Echo wasn't on the drone, he would hear the drop. Yeah. But the timing was perfect.
Yeah. Super well played. Well, SCARZ failed to ban out that Monty. I know you really hammered them for it, Pengu, as did CAG by VARREL. But they are going to bring the Monty for themselves this round. Really locked down is this CAG defense, though. Every single operator is some form of a trap, some form of entry denial. You've got late round time denial in the Goyo and the smoke to burn through the last few seconds on the clock. Of course, you've got the Fenrir, the Ella, and the Aruni to really prevent and slow down those entries. A couple of impacts as well, should they find themselves head-to-head with a shield.
You know, the other thing that's very disappointing, because it's a fast series here, Chibisu's kill record is not going to happen.
Sure.
Well, what's he at right now? Actually, I think he dropped about 23, and then he dropped 10
I think he's at 40.
Now 11?
I think he's at about 43 right now. It was 22, 10.
I think it was 10.
Yeah, and into 11. Look, he had a great map 1, but he would have needed a second one of those to really be competitive for the record.
Okay. So 43, yeah?
Yeah, I believe.
I mean, max OT on the table, and I'm saying it's possible, okay?
12 more kills,
that's all we
and
need.
he matches the kill record. I mean, it's possible if we go for another 7 or 8 rounds. But I have a feeling that it's probably going to end
right now. I actually, looking at the round state, I would say...
Oh, they did
I think SCARZ, they got this one.
They did the Goyo Aruni trick on the
trick.
hatch. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So you force the attackers to shoot up the Goyo canister, because you cannot put your Heartbeat gadget on the hatch otherwise, and it burns 20 useless seconds where you're just sitting there looking at the fire. Because you gotta breach first, then go for the attack.
Oh,
so you're
that's-
super limited.
Also, really nice play from Anaton. He uses his bridge mop really aggressively so that he's already going to have an angle onto Fish-like once that shield gets knocked back. But doesn't matter because SCARZ actually play off of it really well. They managed to confirm that kill onto Anaton before he does any real damage. 40 seconds.
Not necessarily possible. There are 3 toxic babes though. There's maybe a Goyo 5 still by the bomb side, but like another kill here on the Shiri. So big, good lash out though. So honestly, is SCARZ don't choke on a timer? Hold up, they've dropped down the back portion hatch. They're gonna go for they're gonna go for kills.
Yeah, they are. It's a big kill here from Washo. If Chibisu won that, probably not possible here for SCARZ. They don't know where DD is. He finds a double, but they do hunt down Zaka, the last player, and it will be no 7-0. The first round of what would be an unthinkable comeback has been achieved here for SCARZ, and we see some levity on their faces. 5 more chances, though, for CAG to lock this in.
What did I say? They're good for 1 round. This is the 1 round. Just thinking back here of like what could be done differently. I don't think CG's gotta change much. Just like step by step, obviously. But they're need to just out cheese. The cheese doesn't work out. TBSU gets the 12th kill. Ah, you've only got 1 more.
So I have confirmation from our admin team that apparently what Shuri and Rek were talking about in the chat was that Shuri was hyping up Rek and saying he was so good, too powerful, and that Rek makes his heart flutter, and so Rek asked him out to dinner. I love that. Nice to see Shuri
too powerful.
feeling a little bit brighter. It's also the first time that he's gone positive, I think, today.
Oh yeah, he's had a bit of a hard one himself, yeah.
Stay close to me.
That's very sweet. I mean, that's been the big story early on, was like Shuri and Nina were both struggling individually on their respective teams, and while Shuri is kind of, you know, caught up, if you will, Nina is still falling a bit behind, and now actually playing the Monty. Nina on a shield, playing the passive role of the intel gatherer of Monty. I'm not against it. It could be what SCARZ they need.
Slow round here.
Into lobby here.
Slow and steady wins the race.
I mean, it's just a matter of when they show the Monty and the Clash gets into action, you're just gonna match the Monty 1-to-1. I think that's gonna be the goal here for Anaton, because you are gonna be the #1 shield counter. As you keep knocking back the shield, you get full info on the repels of lobby, where you see 2 people by zero repel, 3 people in lobby. It's gonna be a very direct attack here.
Nice pick. Chibisu goes down. Anaton's doing his best to try and keep Nina at bay on that Monty, and the smokes of DD are certainly helping him out. He's about to get hit by that Jago payload. I think Anaton's just going to have to cop this damage. It's going to be quite a lot of damage. So he does. Ooh, DD shot through the smoke. Great shots there from Yukiz with the dread mark. Anaton tries to get active, loses the fight. Wow, it's flawless for SCARZ. Okay. 1 round, we had a little bit of a chuckle. 2 rounds. And SCARZ start to have a little bit more life.
Okay. So like I was saying, right, SCARZ in the attack on bank here, they're quite good. The issue is their defenses, they didn't get a single round. Because as I said, they have no parachute. If they just have 1 round go the wrong way, 1 clutch by CAG, they will lose. Surprisingly enough, actually. Hold up. Sparky on my screen. CAG called a tactical timeout despite getting a 6-0 lead. Is this Sparky saying, guys, finish it. Close it out right now. We need 1 round. He said 1 finger. 1 more round, guys. Come on.
Time to get active here, Sparky. What's he gonna say? Tell the boys to lock the hell in. Man, he really does talk with his hands.
lock
I
in.
wish I could lip read. Oh, here's a smile from Leo. Love to see that.
Big
You got 4 more
smile.
match points.
Let's crack a bit of a joke here, I guess, having some banter. I mean, I think a high spirits and good vibes goes a long way now with your SCARZ, because you need to actually, you know, be so delusional that you actually believe you can make the comeback happen. You have to believe in it.
Oh, it's back down to the basement. CAG running more plant denial. The Echo makes an appearance. SCARZ surely aren't going to lock in this fuse, are they? They actually tease
No,
it
they
out.
always, Nina always hovers fuse.
He's such a troll.
Every round he hovers it. It's just, I think I figured out the theory there, right? That you pick one of the least contested operators, so everyone else can do their attacker repicks, and then like now at the very end, you can choose your operator.
Yeah,
It's gotta be that.
very troll. Hate it. Hate it, man. Always gets me going. We do have the Monty back again from Fishlike. It's funny how both these teams tend to have the same... Ooh, I like the little sound cover there. VARREL, Yuka's helping him out a little bit. Ooh, Shiri gets the audio cue from the Dreadmine, decides to fall back, doesn't take the fight.
Reloading.
Mind you, every early battle that SCARZ they're taking, it's like they have to win it in the back of their head. Losing opening pick, and it's gonna slowly make the round so much more challenging. There's so much map to work here in Bank, right? A lot of map control, a lot of flanks to be watching. When you get to that bomb site eventually, you need every single gadget to do their job. The Trish drone, Sap in the util, the Monty shield to cover the bullets, the Demo's tracker maybe onto an important number like an Echo to make them feel pressured. So many small things that can happen. But right now it's about destruction. They have no primary hard-reaching operator, yet they have 6 can openers spread across Deimos, Grim, and the Monty. This is what you do, right, by the way. You put the Goya canister in the middle of the hatch, and you cannot open them, I believe, with both Thermite or can openers, or just the can opener. I'm not entirely certain. But Thermite's pick on this map is extremely low, despite having 3 exothermic charges these days.
Yeah, technically, you can open more hatches than you can with a set of 10 can openers, right?
That's true. But that's also like secondary versus primary gadget, right?
Exactly,
You can play Grim and get 2 hatches, Deimos and get 2 hatches. Thermite's whole thing, he can get 3, but that's all he can do.
Yeah, very true. Oh, it's a good lineup here for SCARZ, because you're right, all the hard breaches bring something else that's very valuable, whether it's the Deimos, the Grim, or the Monty, all of which are now battling here against Anaton, supported by DD. As the Echo helps him out, but Washoy drops down and stabs him in the back. Unfortunately for CAG, they're not able to support Anaton enough to keep him alive. Goes down. There is time on the clock here for SCARZ to get this attack done.
Yeah, again, the big mini-game victory is clearing Silver Staircase out, suffering a loss. They've done that. They're in a prime position now to go for a win. They popped the Goya canisters to Twitch drone. That's tip number 2. Now they can get the diffuser out to Monty, and he goes for a plant, shield covering his back, or they give it to a gun and let Monty walk in deep into the bombs and cause a bit of distraction, a bit of chaos in the server. Those are their 2 options. They're looking for a backstep with the Monty, so he's purely playing the backstepping role as the shield. He is not the planter.
Nina fakes the plan. There is a yokai watching. Can read the plant spot.
10
They can see the
seconds.
planter is going deep. What? Nina takes the diffuser all the way to vault! What is this call from SCARZ? They need to find all the kills.
1
Chimasu
second.
goes down. SCARZ are so dang lucky. They made the gamble of a lifetime, and it pays off. That's 3 in a row.
James, I think we're at like 0 point something seconds left in the round. Nobody was going for a plant. If just 1 bullet misses, if 1 bit of hesitation happens, if you can't find that last defender, you will lose on timer. We'll see it probably during the highlight reel afterwards, but that was way too close for comfort. But a good read from SCARZ. Hey, they have an Echo. We can't just plant with 10 seconds left. We have to flood and go deep. And then Monty dropping down the lobby hatch, becoming the backstabber, ends up being the round-winning play. We don't see that all that often here on Bank. Monty has not been banned, as has the Echo. Both people countering each other perfectly, saying time is of the essence.
Yeah, wow. Even just the read here, like,
Let's see it here.
DD is on the yokai, and he sees
7, 5.
diffuser is down. They see it. 0.2, I think.
0.2.
Oh my god.
I think so as well.
Nina really gambled there. I cannot believe that. Going all the way into gold vote with the defuse. He could have dropped it and sprinted into like deeper and just left it there in sight for his team to pick up if needed.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Well, 9 rounds in a row of attack between these two teams. Pengu, it is a game that feels like it just never ends.
10 seconds left.
You know, I'd love to spin the story that they're just letting Chibisu go for the kill record, but he's not getting many kills, is he? So, like, I can't even do that.
No, I think
Chibisu has
he's
gotten 2 kills in South, I want to say.
It was 22 into 10 into
Something like that.
13, right? Which makes him at 45. So he's still 10 away.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's 10 away from matching, not beating as well.
I like that the attack didn't have a win percentage increase with opening pick. Is that because nobody has got an opening pick on attack on this map in Apex North? Is that why that stat is missing?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Imagine.
Opening pick has been a little bit back and forth in this game. It's been won by the attacking team / the team who's won the round, because it's been the same thing, except for 2 of CAG's attacks where SCARZ won it. Maybe things will change here on the tertiary bomb site.
The thing is, we call this tertiary, but I generally think open area is just as competitive as like secondary primary, depending on like the operator bands, the play style, the strat, like whatever. I don't feel like open area is like, oh no, we won the 2 best bomb sites, let's go to open area, oh no, it's so bad. It's more of like a stylistic choice. I think you have a very good fighting chance here if you're a CAG, but it will change up the general flow of the game. No more default basement, default top floor, bit more problem solving. CAG strike first, anything gets opening pick onto Yukis, playing that floor as operator. That means less soft destruction, also a little bit less verticality. There is no showing sledge up above, but yet to get in the action. He's outside the building, and timer halfway burned already. We gotta get in the action if you're SCARZ and speed up this timer, because the time is slipping away.
And Nina's punished Zaka, who was answering his phone. I don't know how he managed to get an angle. I think it was from above, and Rek has finished off Anderton. Another round of attack coming right up. SCARZ says 4v3 as they push all of the defenders back into those 2 bomb sites.
Mind you, SCARZ have to be perfect. They're 6 rounds in a row. They're halfway there, gotten 3 victories. This round has to go the exact same way. They're in a good position with Rek finding that kill, getting numbers advantage. They can demonstrate 1 defender at a time and figure out their exact location. As long as they don't track a guy in Mood Jammer, they got verticality on the sledge, they got a shield on Blight with diffuse on hand. They have every single piece of tool available to get this plan down and get the push going. They only got 40 seconds. They can't wait too much longer.
Still a Nitro here for Chibisu that needs to be in position to deny a potential plant. An impact from DD as well. The impact prepared, no, tossed away. He's going to go for a play. Outside actually impacts at the exact same time as the sledge. Opens up the very same hole. Now into the 2v2. Chibisu hunts it down. It's Chibisu in the 1v1. Still a Nitro cell available. Washoy goes deep. Buy him some time, buy him some space. Chibisu falls back, 15 kills. Goes for number 16. The Kiba barrier, it's going to block the line of sight! Zaka with the laser! Clutches the round! I cannot believe it! The most underwhelming finish for SCARZ! After a mighty effort over 3 maps, back-to-back overtimes. But at the end of the day, CAG will reign supreme here in APAC North.
Oh my god. He walked in, he tanked the laser, and then after 8 seconds, it's gonna automatically recharge. So he tanks it twice because he's stuck around too long in that same location. It was gonna be a 1v1 for the ages. To keep SCARZ in it or to lock in this series for CAG. And it's not gonna be the player, it's gonna be the gadget that gets the final save.
Wow, a crazy start. And look, if that was meant to be our quick game of the night, I think we're in for a big day of APAC North. CAG eventually capping off what was a much more dominant map, but the series is done and dusted. Let's toss it over to the blokes on the couch.
Couple of armchair experts, they call us, and I think all in all, a very impressive game, but goddamn, what would have been if it wasn't a 6-0 first half. There was so much hope for that, guys, and unfortunately, just way too much damage done in that first half.
Yeah, unfortunately for SCARZ, they didn't quite put themselves in a position where they put serious pressure back onto CAG. It's one of those cases where 6-0 half, you need to respond with, I think, 4 rounds, then you probably proc the timeout, then you win one more, and then it gets serious. And that's why this is another example of kind of false hope. Yeah. Unfortunately, unable to get the job done. I mean, credit to Washoy, in that second half, you got 3 opening kills in a row. It was insane. Yeah. There were some incredibly close moments. I mean, the last round was a great example that was so close. Typically, they went in favor of SCARZ. Unfortunately, the last one goes the opposing way, and because they didn't have that cushion, they kind of got caught out in the end. So a little unfortunate for SCARZ, but a big win for CAG. Certainly is, and it now puts them forward again, just continuing that momentum that they took from group stage. Let's welcome in our interviewee, which Sparky, I know we've spoken to you a fair bit in the past, but it's my first time, so I want to say it's lovely to bloody meet you. Secondly, how does it feel to claim this third map with such gusto in the first half?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty tired, you know, yeah. It was a difficult game, but yeah, and nice seeing you guys.
Sparky, obviously, we spoke quite a lot throughout the group stage, and a lot of what you were saying is, you know, a bit of hands-off, let them talk, communicate, etc. Now that finals has begun, the involvement from you, clearly, at least in the coach timeouts, has, you know, risen to a new level. Has that been the case? Have you been more hands-on now that finals has begun?
Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, today, I think they responded pretty well to the timeouts. It's just that we should probably practice adaptability a bit more and like discussing what goes on after the round, because our adaptability wasn't good. Like, I don't want the team to be able, like, to need to rely on my timeouts to win round, you know. But I think they're practicing, so it's fine. There's like more discussion going on. It's just that SCARZ today had like very good game prepared, and we didn't really follow the match preparation very well. I mean, it wasn't really a good showing from us, but yeah, we got the win. I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, SCARZ played phenomenally in the second half there of Bank to remain competitive. What was that from your perspective? Like, was that stressful? Was the game plan falling apart? A little bit of both? What was your take?
No, it's just that the game plan wasn't like the game plan was followed only after I was calling the timeouts today, because I feel like the guys were a bit confused by some of the SCARZ plays, like also on the other map. And so we needed to reset a bit, so the timeout really helped us. I feel like SCARZ, like, they could have gone 6-6 on Bank. They could have gone 6-6. When I called the timeout, I just told them, like, the lineups they should play for open area. They wanted to try basement again, then I told them the lineup for open area, and yeah, and the operator I called actually got the kill at the end. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a nice game from SCARZ. Very nice, actually. And it wasn't really a good showing from us, but we'll work on things for sure.
One of the things that we were talking about coming into this, Sparky, is around the, I guess, history of APAC North and the competition of the domestic league in general. We see a lot of times, you know, SCARZ repeating the same games against CAG. They actually have CAG's number over the last... Now, granted, this is over the last 7 or 8 years, so we're not... the scope is huge that we're talking about here.
They've been there for a while.
Correct. But one thing that we were really harping on about coming into today is that right now it feels as though APAC North is the most competitive region when it comes to the finals. Like, there are really... While CAG, yes, we do think that you guys are well and truly above, it's still well and truly competitive enough that these kind of results can happen where SCARZ can have a really good day. How do you feel about the APAC North region right now?
No, I feel like I think the single qualification spot is like, in the regular season maybe it can be a bit more boring, like instead of having like a super league, you know, of like all the best APAC teams, it can be a bit more boring, but like the finals are probably the most exciting, like out of the old regions. Just because you get only one spot, guys. Like, teams are playing, like, they're playing everything, you know, they're not hiding anything. Whereas like in EU or, you know, the other guys, you know, they hide some stuff and like they don't really like it's a different feeling, you know.
Yeah.
It's a different.
I think G2
I was
hiding
gonna
some
say G2.
Yeah, no, fuck. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about that. I was, you know, we have had great examples throughout the year of like Furia at SCARZ, like a great team.
Yeah.
It's just the mindset. It's something that we also need to work on, and I think this single spot thing allows teams to really like feel the pressure.
Yeah.
And so people are able to like see them give their best or their worst, because some, you know, there can be blowouts, and it's also like it's beautiful to see like a team, you know, receiving a blowout and like it's the final and like it's exciting, you know, to see like people panic, or the viewer, it's exciting. So I mean, I'm pretty happy about the way the league looks.
Yeah, for the viewers, it's exciting. For the coach, it's stressful. I could only imagine. Sparky, before we let you go, is there anything you'd like to say, mate? Because, you know, we like to give you the floor. Do you have any friends, family, anyone that you want to shout out to?
Yeah, no, well, the fans, the sponsors, the new structure, the new organization. Thank you for watching the games, and we'll make sure that we come up more ready for the next games, and hopefully set some 7-1, 7-0, something exciting, you know?
That's exciting for you. It's boring for us, mate. We'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Thanks, Sparky. We'll catch you soon, mate.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Look, as much as we're kind of taking the mickey a little bit there, it is for most of those teams, right? You really don't want to let it get to a point where you have to go to a third map and then all of a sudden you're 6-0ing a team in the first half. It's just, that kind of feels like a deflated match finish. But by God, did they do well.
Yeah, I mean, interesting sort of what he was, I think, really getting on about is, was the team following the strategy, the plan that was set in place to begin with? And maybe they weren't. And maybe what bailed them out in the end, guys, was Chibisu's and performance overall. 47 kills. What was he? So 8 off the all-time record.
7 off matching the all-time.
Or 7 off matching it. So, you know, we were kind of talking about kills per round as a metric. He had a 1.21 KPR. The league average, funnily enough, Chibisu actually holds the record at 1.06 this stage. So he went plus 15 over on the number one player, which was him. And to get Asia into the mix and Haikal with a 1.18, Hobbin with a 1.16, Turd with a 1.03, and that's it. All the names I listed are the only ones averaging over a 1 KPR. So when you go and get a 121, which it was a 126 before they obviously lost a couple of rounds to SCARZ. That's how much of a big performance Chibisu was having in that game. And in the end, across the 3 series, which was ultimately close except Bank, he was the difference.
Yeah, he dragged them across the finish line, which is all that matters for now, because CAG, they booked their place in the upper bracket final. Unfortunately, SCARZ, they've got a lot to fight through because they have 2 teams going toe-to-toe next, and this is one you cannot afford to miss. D plus Kia take on Kinotrope in the upper bracket semi-final.